Like I said, we're definitely going to get started. If everybody could take their seats. I appreciate everybody coming out on this beautiful evening because I know we all want to be out enjoying the sunshine, and I totally understand that. We're going to have presentation of colors this evening. If everybody would stand and remain standing for our pledge and our invocation, I would appreciate that. The Morgan County DAV Chapter 132 Color Guard with Carl Cassidy and Jerry Cable will be presenting colors. If you'll remain standing, I'd like to ask Mikey Wisman to come for the pledge and invocation.
All right, we'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow your head. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you so much for this day, dear God. Thank you for everyone getting here safely. I pray for the safe returns as we travel back home. Lord Jesus, I just pray, dear God, we know that each and every one of us is here. We pray that every person, every candidate that is up here, I pray, Lord Jesus, that you are with them. I pray, dear God, that we put you first above everything else, Lord Jesus. And I pray that anyone in this room or anyone that is listening, dear God, I know there was an ultimate sacrifice for all of our veterans and all of our people that is employed right now, dear God. I pray for them. But most of all, dear God, I know that your Son, Jesus Christ, made that ultimate sacrifice for each and every one of us, Lord Jesus. So I pray right now, dear God, that if everyone gets to know you before it's everlasting too late, how we love you and how we praise your holy, holy name. Amen.
Y'all can be seated. I just have a few announcements here. First, I'd just like to announce the most important thing, the restrooms. They're right straight out beside the registration table on that opposite wall. So that's the number one thing. We also have bottles of water out there for anybody that would like one. No charge or anything, just go out and get you one and feel free to. We also have some information sheets that we have put on your tables. This is our Rotary four-way test. And Rotary, if you all are not familiar with us, is a community service organization whose goals, of course, are for the betterment of not only our community, but international betterment of all humans. So before we make any decisions, this is our four-way test. And the four-way test says, of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? So I think that these are very good guidelines to use when we're making decisions. And as a member of the Rotary Club, we do focus on those guidelines with every decision that we make. And I also wanted to offer special thanks to our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Ralph Hamilton, for allowing us the use of this beautiful facility. They've been so good to work with us, and we sure appreciate them. I also want to thank our auctioneer, Teddy Creech, and Mikey Wisman is going to be helping him this evening. Teddy's always good to come out and help us if he's not already engaged in work otherwise, and we so appreciate him. I also want to recognize Mountain Telephone TV, who's here this evening broadcasting this, so we appreciate them so very much. And of course, we want to thank our Morgan County DAV Chapter 132 for the presentation of colors. We always appreciate them coming out and supporting us. It means so much to us. As you all registered this evening, it got a little bit hectic out there, so I'm going to repeat some things that you may not have gotten a chance to hear. We had a lot of people want to ask questions from the audience to our candidates. Number one, we don't have time for that. Number two, sometimes that gets a little bit catty, and we don't like catty. So what we decided to do instead is offer the opportunity for questions to be written down, and they can be wrote out at the registration table. And if you want to ask a question of all of our sheriff candidates, we will ask that question of all our sheriff candidates after they've been reviewed and been determined to be respectful. Same for magistrates, same for any office that's running. So feel free to go out there and write those questions down. We do need that done within the first few minutes, because the way this is going to work is, if you've been here before, you're already familiar, but I'm going to refresh everybody's mind, because if you're like me, sometimes you forget. You have your agenda, and we put speakers on here who don't have any opposition first to kind of break the ice, because it's a little bit easier to break the ice when you don't have any opponents. That's helpful. So, for example, if Miles is up here speaking, he's our first speaker. If he's up here speaking, the next candidate that would be on deck would be our PBA candidates, Darby Franklin. And then if Darby's up here speaking, the next person that would be on deck would be our coroner candidate, Sean Van Cleve. So what does on deck mean? The very first group that comes up here, so whenever Miles comes to speak, the next group would be the PBA candidate, which I don't think is actually here this evening, no. So the next person would be our coroner candidate, and I will announce that, whoever is here, so you'll know when to get ready. But on deck, this first row up here is listed as reserved, and that's where you will sit. So if we have 2 or more people running for a particular office, Mikey has numbers, and he's going to come down, and we're going to draw numbers. If you draw 1, you'll be the first speaker in that particular group. And if you draw 2 and so on, you'll be the second, third, and fourth. All candidates will come and sit in the chairs when it's their turn to be speaking. Then the next group of candidates would be on deck. Does anybody have questions about that? Good deal. Okay. The next thing I would like to do is never fail to take an opportunity to recognize every veteran who is here today. So if all of our veterans could stand and be recognized, I would appreciate that. Thank you all for your service, and thank you for being here. Thank you for your willingness to serve. We absolutely appreciate you. So each candidate who comes up to speak will have 5 minutes. Once all candidates have the opportunity to speak in that particular category, if we have any questions for that group of people, I will come to the podium and ask the question, and then each person will have an opportunity to come up and respond to that particular question. Another thing that I wanted to announce is some of the people you see tonight, you will not see on your ballot come May because they are not going to be on the ballot till November. So don't think they've dropped out of the race or any of those kinds of things. They will be on the ballot in November. We've also been asked, are we going to do this again? Yes, we are. So we always try to do it in the spring and then in the fall as well. So, yes. So we'll go ahead and get started this evening with our speakers. If Mr. Miles Holbrook would like to come up, and then Sean, our coroner candidate, you'll be on deck.
Okay. Well, hello, neighbors. How are you all doing? You know, it's been a long time since I've been on The Price is Right, so I thought that I should show up and let everybody, remember what I look like, right? Now, I also want to say something else. I was wrong. Growing up, I never really considered a job to be part of somebody's identity. But over these past 3 terms, and now starting my 4th term next year, I've come to realize that what I aim to be is to be considered a good county attorney. It's become part of who I am, and I'll readily admit that. How do you become a good county attorney? Well, in district court, you prosecute those that harm people, and you protect the innocent from that harm. In family court, you ensure that families are functioning in a healthy and safe environment. In juvenile court, you help troubled children basically make better decisions. You know, at that part of the work that I do that I find very rewarding is working with families and juveniles. And in a lot of ways, you can turn something around instead of letting it fester for years and years and become a bigger problem. So I am very proud of my work with that. Child support enforcement. A lot of what I do is to try to get children the resources they need to thrive. And the fiscal court, which, everybody tunes in once a month to see if I blow up or something. Listen, I'm going to give the fiscal court advice whether they want it or not. That's kind of who I am. Probably the most important part of being a county attorney, though, is keeping the wolves away. From friends of governors to friends of presidents, I have chosen to fight those forces that would put their own interests ahead of the people of Morgan County. People who think that the rules are only for other people, that they don't get along with me. Integrity cannot be bought at the Morgan County Attorney's Office. In this office, I don't make decisions based upon how much money someone has or how much power they think they carry. It is about doing what's right. And I am proud of the work that my staff and I have done over the last 11 years counting. And I look forward to continue to serve my community, my friends, and my neighbors. I'm going to be brief because I want everybody to focus on the contested races tonight. These candidates have an opportunity to tell you what they stand for and how that they're going to serve you, the people of the best county and the best Commonwealth in the country. To the people of Morgan County, to the people out there that need to be listened to, I want you to know that I always have and I always will listen to you. Your voice matters to me. It's not taught in law school, but listening is the lawyer's greatest tool. It helps you understand what the problems are before you go off and try to do something that's not going to help. It helps you know what the problem is. And if you know what the problem is, that is the first step in solving it. If you have any questions or concerns about how your local government works, my office has always been open. That door has always been open. You can reach me by phone. You can come by the office. Now, I believe that I'm like the busiest man in Morgan County, but I will make you a promise, and it's a promise that I renew tonight for my 4th term. If you need to speak with me, you will have an opportunity to speak with me. Every one of you. and every one of your problems matters to me. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to welcome our coroner candidate, Sean Van Cleve, to the stage. And I don't think our county surveyor, county court clerk, or any of our constables are present tonight. If any of you are, let me know, because I don't have you highlighted as checking in. So that will leave us to the magistrate candidates. If the magistrates for District 1 could come on up and be on deck, that would be great.
Hello, everybody. I'm the Morgan County Coroner, for the ones that may not know who I am. And it's been an honor to serve you all for the last 2.5, 3 years. And I will continue to do the job that I signed up for, respect families in difficult situations. That's what we do, me and my deputies. I mean, we've sat all night before at a hospital with a family because they wanted to be with their loved ones. I'll continue to do that. I just appreciate everybody's support so far, and like I said, I'm running unopposed, but I will continue to do the best job to my ability for the people of Morgan County. Thank you.
So I don't know about you all, but I really like to hear some good auctioneering. So we're going to have a cake pie auction here really quick before we welcome our magistrates, get things livened up and going here.
All right, can you hear me in the back queue? Good deal. Been a few years since I've done this, bear with me. Maybe a little rusty. Mikey and Cheryl's going to be helping here. I'll be announcing it. Guys, get your hands in the air. Don't be shy. When you win a bid, I'll probably ask you what your name is, and then I'll announce your name, and they'll write it down over here. First off, Ellen Motley. Ellen and Greg Motley, a cherry cobbler with ice cream. Cherry cobbler with ice cream. All right, now y'all tell me, what's it worth? Here, but about 25, but about 5, but 25, but about 5, but 25, but about 5, but about 25, now 30, here, but about $25 bid, now 30. 25 over here, now 30, $30 bid, here, but about $30. 25 now 30, $30 bid, but about 25 now 30, but a 27.5. 27.5, 27.5, now 30, $30 bill, now 2.5, hey, but about 32.5, I'm 30 back here, now 2.5, hey, but about 2.5, but have been 32.5, would have been half at a 32.5, 32.5 and a 32.5, I'm 30 in the back, now 2.5, 2.5, now 5, hey, but about 5, but 35, would have been 5, but $35, 35 would have been 5, but 35 would have been 5, 35, now 7.5, 37.5 would have been half at 37.5, anybody else, 37.5, last call, $35. $35. What do you want the name on it? Frankie Spencer. Put it back. You want to sell it again? All right, we'll do that. You say you want to sell it again, Frank? Is that what you said? We'll do it while we're at it. Thank you, Frankie. Frankie donated that one back. Same way. From Greg and Ellen here. Cherry cobbler with ice cream donated back. All right. Hey, but about what's it? Hey, but about $20. $20 bid. Hey, but about $20. But a dollar. But a $20. But a dollar. But a $20 bid. 20 now 5. $20 bid now 5. Hey, but about 5. But 25. But have been 5. But 25. But have been 5. I'm 20 here now 5. How about 2.5? $20 bill now 2.5. But about 2.5. But a 2.5 now 5. But about 5. But 25. But have been 5. But $25. 25. Want to go 5. But 25. But have been 25 now 7.5. 25 now 7.5. But have been half. But 27.5. But have been half. 27.5. Everybody done? 27.5. $25 right here on the 4th row. What do you want that name on it? Atkins bought. Atkins bought. Yep, 27.5. Thank you. 27.5. Here we go. Miles Holbrook, caramel cake here, caramel cake, Miles Holbrook. What's it worth? Hit it about 20. Hit it about $20 bill. Hit about $20, bit a dollar, bit a $20, bit a dollar. $10 and go. Hit about 10. Now 15. Hit about 15. I'm 10 to back now 15. $10 bid now 15, but about 15, but about $15. 10 now 15, but about 12 and a half. Hit about 12 and a half, would have been 12 and a half. 10 now 12 and a half, would have been half, but 12 and a half. Now 15. Want to go 15? 15 now 17 and a half. I'm 15 now 17 and a half. Now 20. At about $20 bid now 2 and a half, would have been 22 and a half. Now 5, would have been 5, 25. Now 7 and a half, would have been 27 and a half. Now 30, but about $30 bill, but about $30. $30 bill, but about 30 now 2 and a half. 30 now 2 and a half. Now 5, would have been 5, but 35, would have been 5, but $35. 35 now 37 and a half, would have been half, but 37 and a half. Now $40 bill. $40, hit about 40. Now 2 and a half. 40 now 2 and a half. Now 5. 45 would have been 5, but 45 would have been 5, but 45 would have been 5, but $45. 45 now 7 and a half. 45 now 7 and a half. Everybody done? I'm 45 in the very back. Now 47 and a half. 47 and a half. Last call. 47 and a half. Sell it in the back. $45. $45. What do you want that name on it? Norman. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. We'll do one more and then we'll get back to the politicking. All right. Iva Daly, and we got a brownie pie donated by Iva Bailey. All right, everybody, y'all tell me. $10. Hit about $10 bid. Hit about 10, but about $10, but about $10 bid. 10, now 12 and a half. 10 here, now 12 and a half, but about 10, now 12 and a half, but been 10, now 12 and a half. $10 bid, now 12 and a half. Hit about 10, 12 and a half. Now 15. $15. Hit about $15, but about 15. Brownie pie. $15. 15, 12 and a half over here, now $15, but a dollar, but he's looking at her now. 15, but about $15 bid, but about 15, but about 15. Anybody else? $15. 12 and a half, now 15. 12 and a half, now 15. Walk her around there, Mikey. 12 and a half, now 15, but about $15. I'm 12 and a half up here. We'll let everybody get a look. 15, now 17 and a half. 17 and a half, but about 17 and a half, but about 17 and a half. I'm 15 over here, now 17 and a half. And about half, but about 17 and a half. $15 bill, now 17 and a half, but been half, but about 15, now 17 and a half. 17 and a half, now 20. $20 bill, hit about $20 bill, what about $20? 17, 20, now 2 and a half. 22 and a half, now 5, but about 5, but 25, but been 5, but 25, but been 5, but 25, but 22 and a half, now 5. $25, hit about 5, but 25, now 7 and a half. 27 and a half, now 30, hit about 30, now 2 and a half, now 5, but about 35, now 7 and a half. And $40 bill now, but about 40, now 2 and a half, now 5, but about 5, but 45, but now 7 and a half. 47 and a half, now 50. $50 bill, hit about 50, now 2 and a half. 50 now 2 and a half, 50 here, now 2 and a half. Don't quit now. Hit about 52 and a half, but about 52 and a half. Hit about 52 and a half. Anybody else? 52 and a half. $50 right here, right here. What do you want that name on it? Goes to Crace, goes to Crace. Bought Crace. All right.
It's my favorite part of the night, y'all. I'd like to speak that fast. If we all spoke that fast, we might be here about 10 minutes and then go on home, wouldn't we? All right, I'm going to welcome to the stage our magistrate candidate for District 1, Mr. Eric Pelfrey. And then if we don't care, our District 2 candidates can be up here on deck and we'll call them up next. So Eric, you're welcome to the stage.
Yeah. We'll turn that up there. Right. Well, thank you all for coming out tonight. One thing that I want to say is I just want to thank the people of District 1 for having the faith in me to allow me to run unopposed. I appreciate that. Greg just said it saved me a lot of money, and it sure did. These fellows know if you're out there campaigning, it does cost a lot. But one thing that I stood up here the last time and told you was that I wouldn't raise taxes, I wouldn't implement any new taxes, I wouldn't vote for that, and that I would make sure to help the fire departments, rescue squads, and everything, and I have 100%. We have spent a ton of money, but guess what? I'm a firm believer if you're going to do a job, you need to have the tools to do that job. The county road department didn't have them when we came in, but they do now. So we've spent a lot of money, but we've not cost the taxpayers any money. We've not raised any taxes. We're proud of that. These next 4 years, I look forward. We've got some good people running for office. We've got a good fiscal court. We got many candidates for you to choose from. That's the good thing about it. You've got a choice in your district, and I just think you need to look close at who you've got, make a wise decision. And another thing I'd like to say is we need to brag on our road department a little bit. Now, the magistrates have a job, and their job is what you see in an hour, 2 hours a month when MRTC comes into a courtroom. That's all you see. What you don't see is all the calls, all the texts, all the late night phone calls, everything that comes through asking for this road to be fixed or that road. We went through some ice storms, we went through some snow, wind, anything you can possibly imagine. But the magistrate only has so much authority what we can do. And we can call the road department and ask, beg and plead for something to be done, and it's up to them. We're on a list, they'll put it on. If it's an emergency, they'll jump right on it. They can call the county judge, and he can put them on it. But we've got a really good road department. We've got some guys up there that know what they're doing, and they do a good job. But we're just glad that we could give them the equipment that they need. If you have any questions, I ask you contact your magistrate, contact the people that are running in your district, get involved, come to these fiscal court meetings, fourth Thursday every month, see what's going on in your county. I encourage all candidates, you need to come out. If you're running for magistrate, I'll promise you, you'll come into this blind as you can be, because I sure was, and you'll find out it's a lot different than what you think. But I thank you again. Running unopposed, I can't be more appreciative than what I am. But I'll give the rest of my time to these fellas. Thank you all.
Back for the short people. All right, let's welcome all of our magistrate candidates for District 2 up to the stage. We have drawn numbers, and it looks like Mr. Isaiah will be our first speaker and Frederick will be our second speaker. And if our District 3 magistrate candidates will come up here and be on deck, that would be much appreciated. I don't know if you want to hold this or let it be here, so you adjust it how you need.
It's a little earlier than I wanted to go, I ain't gonna lie. I'm Isaiah Perkins, for those of you that don't know me. I am a seasoned operation leader with more than 2 decades of experience driving performance, building strong teams, and restoring accountability in complex environments. I've led high-volume operations, I've managed budgets, I've managed people. My focus has always been on culture and stewardship. I believe that if we empower the people around us, that we can make better leaders out of them, and in turn, they can help us and the community around us. I'm a hands-on problem solver. I'm known for turning challenges into opportunities, using data, communication, and people-first approach. I do this to elevate the outcomes in any situation that I'm in. Beyond my corporate leadership, I'm an active real estate investor, a youth mentor, a creative builder. I'm committed to legacy, integrity, and service. My career reflects a simple belief: strong teams, clear expectations, and responsible stewardships create a lasting impact. And if elected as your magistrate, every action and every vote on the physical court will be based on the same values I follow in my business and my everyday life. And that's faith first, families next, and I would appreciate the opportunity to serve in District 2. And I would look forward to doing whatever I can to improve tourism in the community. With Eric, there's only so much a magistrate could do, but every decision and every action I take would be to make the people in my community better off. Thank you.
Howdy, everybody. I'm Frederick Hutchison. I'm pleased to be standing up here. I got a little speech typed out here. I'll go ahead and spill it. Good evening, everyone. I appreciate the chance to stand in front of you tonight. My name is Frederick Hutchison. I'm running for magistrate in District 2. Not because I'm a politician, but because I'm one of you. For the past 8 years, I've worked in road construction. I know what it means to wake up early, work long hours, and put in the honest effort to build something that lasts. I've spent those years improving roads in other places, and it's made one thing clear to me. Our district deserves the same level of attention and care. I'm also a family man. I have 4 children who are growing up right here in this community. Like every parent, I want those to be safe, have opportunities, and to be proud of where they're from. But I've looked around and I've asked myself, are we giving our kids the same opportunity as other districts? Because the truth is, in our district needs attention. We see it in our roads. Roads need repair, maintenance, and proper investments. Roads that people depend on every single day to get to work and to school and to take care of their families. But it's not just about roads, it's about quality of life. It's about making sure our kids have a place to grow and just to be kids. Right now, nearly every other district in this county has a park, a place where families can gather with children, they can run and laugh and want, and we don't. And that's not right. We should be the district we shouldn't be the district that gets overlooked. We shouldn't be the one that comes last when it's time for investing in infrastructure or community spaces. We deserve better, and I'm running to make that happen. I'm not here making big promises I can't keep, and I'm not here with fancy words and political talk. What I am offering is a simple, hard work, accountability, and a voice for our district. I know how to get things done because I've been doing it my whole life. I understand the values of teamwork, planning, and following through, and if I'm elected as magistrate, I will bring the same mindset to this role. I'll advocate for better roads that are safe and reliable. I will push for fair attention and funding for our whole district, and I will work to make sure our family, especially our kids, have the same opportunities as everyone else, including something as simple and important as a park to call their own. This isn't about politics to me. It's about the pride in where we live. It's about families, and it's about making sure that when people look at our district, they don't see what's missing. They see what's possible. I'm asking for your support, not just for me, but for the future of this community. Together, we can build something better for ourselves and for the next generation. Guys, I've campaigned on it. I said, a closed mouth never gets fed. I said, if you don't ask for something, you probably can't get it. But I said, a lot of times, I said, it ain't that they don't want to help you. Maybe they don't know about the problem. Just mention it to them. And like Eric said, there's a great bunch of people running. So, I mean, we've got plenty of people to choose from. Just think wisely and vote with your heart. Y'all have a good and appreciate it.
Can you run and see? Yeah. So at this time, we're going to recognize our magistrate candidates from District 3. We have one here tonight, Mr. Tommy, if you would like to make your way to the stage. And then our magistrate district candidates for 4, you'll be on deck if you'd like to come right up here and have a seat. You adjust that however you need to.
Hello, everyone. This is Tommy Fannin. Nice to see everybody out tonight. I want to thank the Rotary for having this, hosting this. Mr. Pelfrey said, you know, there's only so many things a magistrate can do, but when I got elected last year, I learned a whole lot too. There's a lot of things you don't really realize. Limited what a law magistrate could do, but I spent about 40-some years building roads and mining coal. So I spent a lot of time up at the road department. We got a lot of, Mr. Pelfrey talked about, some new equipment that they desperately needed. Excavator, backhoe, a couple of tractors, mowing machines, grader blades stuff. And that was close to $500,000. And hopefully, June of '27 will be the last payment on them. They'll be paid for, they'll belong to the county. And they're still like brand new equipment. And we've not had to raise no taxes to do that. And there's still some things that we have to get that we need pretty bad, but like everything, budget is a whole different ballgame, especially when it's kind of hard to fathom, but our general budget is about $400,000 a month. And the road department, it costs about $200,000 a month. And our jail bill, of course, that's about $70,000 a month. I mean, that comes out before anything else is even thought about. So there's a whole lot to take into consideration. And I'd also like to see our youth stay here, have some good jobs, support the community, because I've had to work out of state most all my life. But I think we can do it. It's a good county, good people, and I know there's some good companies out there just dying to come here. We just got to find them, and I'd like to see that happen and get some tourism in here, things for people to do. Let other people know about what a good county we got, and I just like to thank again for this opportunity to be here tonight and to be the magistrate. And I'm willing to stay and run again and fight hard and work hard for the community, my district, and see that we've got a good county. That's about it. Thank you.
Do you have anything else? Do you have anything else?
No, thank you. All right, as we welcome to the stage Frankie for Magistrate for District 4, if our District 5 Magistrate candidates could just be on deck up here, I would appreciate that. Just that however you need to.
Okay, thank you. I think that's about good. Thank you, Rotary, for having this event again. Thank everyone that's here tonight. A lot of things has changed since I've been up on this stage. It's been several years since I've ran for any type of office. One thing is my eyesight, so kind of bear with me here. But I'd like to commend all the people that's out running for elections right now. It's never easy to put yourself out there, especially when things will be said about you that's not always true, and that you just go ahead and stand your ground. One of the other things that's kind of changed is I lost my mom 6 years ago. Besides my wife and kids, she was my biggest supporter in the good times and the bad. It's been tough. I'm struggling with my dad now. He's not able to get out and go with me campaigning like we used to. But one thing, might have lost a little bit of that. I did lose a part of myself when she passed away. I'm gaining it back slowly but surely. I said I'd never run for office again. Something's told me to not to listen to that, and Mom always taught me, listen to that. That's what God trying to tell you something. So I'm here tonight, and I'm here for District 4 because I want to make a change. And she taught me integrity. She taught me hard work and dedication. She taught me that the best thing you do is do the very best you can at absolutely every single thing that you do. That's what I've tried to do. As a 12-year, as a magistrate, I gave it all, my absolute all. In the snowstorms, ice storms, I was in there with my chainsaw, cutting people out, making sure they got out, that they had electricity, they had food. I gave it every single thing I had. As a counselor, drug and alcohol counselor, gave it everything that I had. Until after COVID, it got to the point, after Mom passed, we was losing too many people for drug overdose. I spent 18 years as a counselor in that field. That's a long time. It's a long time to go to funerals. So I'm still committed to helping people that's suffering from addiction. Now, I'm actually, I prayed about it, and I went to be a school teacher. I ran an alternative program down in Menifee County High School. I've had the pleasure of keeping up with some kids that were kind of troubled. As soon as I got the job was the alternative school. So I hope that I done some good for them. They still contact me from time to time on Facebook. So I know we made a change there. You know, and one of the things that, like I said, that the perseverance that Mom taught, I posed this question about, you know, what do you think makes Morgan County great? And if I posed it to 1,000 people, you get 1,000 different answers. You know, the main thing I think about is doing the absolutely best at every single thing. That is having safe roads, safe travelable roads, working diligently, road department and all that crew to helping them, working with the state. You know, just because we're county, we can still work with each other. We can't work on each other's roads, but we can still work together. Economic development. You know, I've said it since I've ever been on this stage. When my kids was running around at that time, you know, they were little running around playing. Like, let them play. That's awesome. But I'd want to make sure they have a job, a good paying job, and want to come back to Morgan County. All my life, I've always had to work outside the county to make a very good living, you know, a better living. But I want that for our kids, your grandkids. So we've got to put that into it. You know, we've got all kinds of economic opportunity. Tourism, you know, West Liberty Tourism. Grant back here puts on some of the best shows going right now at the Old Mill Park. We can build off of that. The county can work with the city to try to help that bring maybe a weekend show or bring it out even into the counties. Pat Oakle Branch over in Easdale. And we used to have Paul Gilly Days. Might bring that back. That was an awesome event. Okay? I miss those days growing up when I was over in Easdale, going to little sock hops and the pie auctions and everything like that in the community. It brought the community together. Infrastructure, water lines. You know, we do need that. It's a shame that we don't have that right now in some places. But keep working at it, and we'll try to find the people to make it happen. You know, with the roads, I still live on a gravel road. We shouldn't have gravel roads now. It's 2026. I understand that we're working on budgets, but there's also ways you go out and you talk to the entire commissioner, walk to the governor's office. You talk to everybody you can at the federal level. Try to get as much funds as you can into this county, and I'm willing to do so. And like I said, with the tourism, we got 2 lakes, Cave Run, Pat Oker. Over on my end of the Cave Run, we can have a kayak where we can have that part of the tourism. So there's things we can do. I'm motivated. I want to be your magistrate in District 4. I want to work hard for you. I want to give you the very best I can. And if I'm not doing that, vote me out 4 years from now. Thank you.
All right, if our magistrates for District 5 could come on up to the stage. Looks like Mikey has reported that Anthony has drawn number 1 and Joseph has drawn number 2. So Anthony will come and speak to us first, and then Joseph will speak. You just adjust this however you all need to when you get up here.
I'd say that's good. Hello. Most of you may know me. I was a Morgan County teacher for 31 years. My name's Anthony Likens. I taught math and some what they call homeroom, where you taught everything. But most of the time I taught math. I'm still teaching math of the evening. I do free tutoring at my church where I'll have 2 or 3 students some weeks I may not have any. But then after I retired in 2010, I ran and won for Magistrate. And I kind of went out on my own and some things. I went out and was able to get like a $30,000 grant for my park at Candle City through Frankfurt. It was a competitive grant. I think they told me that there was like the county's combined was over $2 million, and they only had $1 million to spend, so it was pretty competitive. But I was able to get that. I'm proud of it. If I get elected again, I will go again for a grant. It will be something for the community or my district, wherever it's needed. I'll let someone know what I will go for at the time when I fill the papers out. I also am a someone that depends on my wife back there and me. I guess during eight years as your magistrate before, I may have missed 5 phone calls. And that's because I always stayed on top of things. If they had a problem, I wanted to take care of it for them. I also gave out a scholarship, education, $250 scholarship, but I'd end up giving at least a month of my salary to the students that applied. If I only had 1 or 2, I'd go ahead and give them $250. If I had more than that, I would give the $250 out, and then I would give each one of the students either $50 or maybe more. Students are our best friends. They'll be our leaders someday in this county. There's some things that really bothers me. The swimming pool being closed, I think we need to open that back up. If you can tell me anything in this county for students to do, young students, I'd like to know about it. They don't have anything. And, you know, the Bible says that idle hands are trouble. If we get busy, get our students something to do, open that pool back up. I've had a lot of complaints, and I don't know how to address this until I get in. You know, they keep asking me, what about the price of the water? Well, I don't know. I'm paying mine. That's all I can do right now. But we need to get it to where it's at a steady cost instead of bouncing from $50 to $100 and back to so forth. Set a certain amount and leave it there so people can adjust their budgets. That's what they live by. I will make sure that I get your phone calls. If you have a problem, road problem, whatever, I will be there to see that it's fixed. Or I will take it in front of the court and get it fixed that way. Tim Connolly's not here tonight. We butted heads, but we worked together good. I had a few people to tell me, well, you can't get that grant. And that just put gasoline in my engine when you tell me I can't do something, because I go ahead and I try to do it. I will again try to get a grant. I'd like to have some things that I've already dedicated the money for, but I'll spend it when we get it. Anytime anyone wants to call me, if they have questions, hey, bring them on. I can answer them for you. Thank you.
I need to. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Howard. I'm a Republican candidate for Magistrate in District 5. Before I continue, I'd like to thank the Rotary Club for allowing us and all the candidates the opportunity to speak this evening. And I'd like to thank the Morgan County Board of Education for the use of their facilities as well. As earlier, my name is Joseph Howard. I'm running for Magistrate in District 5. I'll tell you all right now, my speech may not be as long or as in-depth as others, but my message will still be clear. I have the best intentions, not only for my district, but for every district in Morgan County. If elected as magistrate for District 5, I will be a listening ear for everyone in our community and a voice for what is right all the time. I'm not a stranger to hard work. I'm willing to work for all the people in our community. With a background in mining, operating heavy equipment on mines and road jobs and gas pipelines. I know what it takes to maintain a road while keeping it safe. I can't make everyone a bunch of promises to fix everything, but one thing I can promise is I will work for our community to make it a better place with everything I have. To the people of District 5, I'm asking for your vote in the upcoming election. I'm always available if you have any questions or concerns. My phone number is posted on my campaign page on Facebook or in the phone book. Even if it's not for me, I encourage everyone in our community to exercise their right to vote in the upcoming election. Thank you all.
Okay, what we're going to do, we have a question that was submitted for our magistrates. So if we could have all the magistrates come back up to the stage, that would be wonderful. But we're going to do an auction prior to them answering the question. But I'm going to give them the question so they can think about their answer while we're doing the auction. So see how nice I am? Scooch those chairs on over there. Do we have enough, Mikey? Yeah, just scooch them on over. We should have exactly enough, I think. Let me look. Yeah, good deal. Okay, the question is, as a magistrate, what will each of you do different that has not been done before, or do you think should be done different that has not been done before? What would you do different that has not been done before, or what do you think should be done different that has not been done before? So while the Jeopardy music tick-tocks and your brain thinks up your answer, we're going to invite our auctioneers back up to the stage here for just a minute. He's got a cute little helper with him, I'll tell you that much.
All right, let's do it again. A Dolly cheesecake here in Rotary Club, a Dolly cheesecake. On the cheesecake, everybody y'all tell me on the cheesecake, hit about $10 and go, $10 bid. Hit about $10, but about 10, but about 10. Thank you, now 12 and a half. I'm 10 over here now, 12 and a half now, but about 12 and a half. Now 15, but about 15, 17 and a half. 17 and a half now, $20 bid, now 2 and a half. 22 and a half, but have been half, 22 and a half, now 5. 25, but have been 5, 25, now 27 and a half. 27 and a half, but have been half, 27 and a half. I'm 25 over here now, 27 and a half. On the cheesecake, hit about 27 and a half. $25 bid now, 27 and a half. It'll been half, 27 and a half. It'll been half, 27 and a half. Last call on the cheesecake now, 27 and a half. $25, $25. What's that name on it? Jividan? All righty. Cheesecake goes Jividan. 25. 25.
Oh my goodness, this looks so heavy and yummy.
Don't drop it. Raspberry lemonade.
Raspberry lemonade tart.
Tart sweet.
Jim and Lisa Gazay.
Donated by Jim and Lisa Gazay here, guys. Heavy it is. Looky there, everybody, y'all tell me. Get a good look at it there. Mikey's going to Vanna White it. All right, hit about $20. Hit about $20 bid. Hit about $20, but about $20, but about $20. 10 and go. Hit about $10 bid. Hit about $10 bid, but about 10 anywhere, but about 10 anywhere, but what do you say, but about $10 bill. $10 bill to start. Hit about $10 bid, but about 10 anywhere now, but about 10 and where to hear it. 10 back here now, 12 and a half. Even about $10 bid now, 12 and a half. Would have been half. I forgot about you all back here. 10 now, 12 and a half. Would have been half. About 10 now, 12 and a half. Anybody else? 12 and a half. Would have about 10 now, 12 and a half. 10 now, 12 and a half. I just only in at 10, 12 and a half. Anybody? 12 and a half at about 10 now, 12 and a half. 12 and a half back there now, 15. 15 now, 17 and a half. At about 17 and a half, would have been 17 and a half. 15 on the stage now, 17 and a half. 17 and a half would have been half at about 17 and a half. Would have been half at 17 and a half. Anybody else? 17 and a half would have been half at 17 and a half. $15 on the stage, Frederick. Frederick bought. Just sit down there, baby. All right, this is from Richard White, and it is it looks good.
It looks delicious.
Don't know what it is. It's a good-looking cake, though.
Looks like vanilla raspberry, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe vanilla raspberry. from Richard White here, guys. All right, on the big cake. Anybody y'all tell me what about 15? Hit about $15 bill, but about 15, but about 15, but about 15. $10 and go on the cake. At about 10, now 12 and a half. 10, 12 and a half, now 15, and 17 and a half. And what was 17 and a half? 17 and a half would have been 17 and a half, now 20. $20 bid, now 2 and a half. Would have been 22 and a half, would have been half, 22 and a half, would have been half, 22 and a half, would have been half, 22 and a half, now 5. 25, now 7 and a half. Would have been 27 and a half, now $30. $30, and $30. You got 30? So, all right, 30, now 2 and a half. About 30, now 2 and a half. And 30 now. Kelly, you want it 32 and a half? 32 and a half, now 5. 35, now 37 and a half. 37 and a half, about 37 and a half, would have been 37 and a half. Look at me, hit about 37 and a half, would have been 37 and a half, would have been 37 and a half. 35 over here, now 7 and a half. Everybody done? Last call, 37 and a half, 37 and a half, now 40. At about $40 bill. 40, one more time. 40, now 2 and a half. And about 42 and a half, now 5. Would have been 5, but a 45, would have been 5, but a $45. 45. Would have been 5, but a 45, but a 5, but a 45, but 45, now 47 and a half, and 50. At about $50 bill, but about $50. He's back there. $50 bill, but about $50. $50, but a dollar, but a $50 bill, would have been $50. 47 and a half back here, now 50. Anybody else? $50, but about $50. Last call, $50 bill, but about $50. 47 and a half. Sell it in the back. Sell it in the back. Kelly bought. Kelly bought. Walker Crace, red velvet cake here, red velvet cake. Red velvet. What's it worth? About 15. About 15. 15 now 20. 15 now 20. But about 15 now 20. But about $20 bid. Hit about $20. But about 15. 20 now 5. $20 bid now 5. Now 25. Now 30. Now 5. But about 5. But 35. But about 35. Would have been 5. I'm 30 back here. Now 5. $30 bill now 5. Would have been 5. But $35. 35 now 40. 35. 40 now 5. Hit about 5. But about 45 now 50. But about $50 bill. But about $50. 45 here now 50. I'm 45 down 50. Anybody up here? $50. Hit about $50. But a dollar. But a $50. But a dollar. But a $50. But a dollar. 50 anywhere. I'm 45 up front. $50 bill. Hit about $50. But about $50. Sell it right here in the third row. $45. 45. What's that name on it? Mr. Smith. Thank you, sir. Do one more.
Do one more, and then y'all got to answer questions.
Mikey, you want one?
That's all right.
You try it out.
What is this?
What? Okay, this one's sold.
That's sold? Yep, that's sold.
Oh, yeah.
I want one of these good.
Yeah, okay. Here's a cream pie. Chocolate cream pie by Miss Melissa Madden. And it ain't even a Democratic cake or a Republican cake. It's just a chocolate cake. All right. Let's help me get it started. Give me $10 on there. Give me 10. Give me 10 right here now. Give me 15. Where's 15? Give me 15 now. Give me 15 in the back now. Give me 20. Now, where's 20? 20 right here now. Give me 25. Give me 25. Give me 25. Give me 25. Where's 25? Okay, now give me 30. 30 right here now. Give me 35. 35. Give me 35. Give me 35. Give me 35 now. She said 30. Give me now 35. Where's 32? Give me 32. Give me 32 and a half. What about 32? 32. She's 32 and a half right back here. What about 35? 35. She said 35. What about 40? Can I get 40 in the back? Give me 40. Give me 40 in the back. Give me 40 in the back now. She said 35. What about 40? Give me 40. Give me 40 one time. 40 right here. What about 45? 45 right here. 45 now. Give me 50. You two sitting real close. One in the front's got it for 45. What about 50? Can I get 50 in the back? 50 behind me. She's got it for 45. Now give me 50. 47 and a half. Give me 47 and a half. 47 and a half. She's got 45. Now what about 47 and a half? 45. Mr. Jim Gizay, you got it for 45. Last call. Sold right there. $45. Mr. Jim Gizay. All right. Now that was pretty good, okay? That was pretty good. That was the first time, besides the church cakes.
Listen, Mikey and Teddy's going to have us all up here wanting sweets before we ain't eat supper or nothing yet, so that's all right. Trying to find my paper I wrote it. Here we go. I'm going to remind everybody what our question is, and then we've decided we're going to go backwards from District 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 this time. So we'll let them go in a reverse hot seat order. So as magistrate, what would each of you do different that has not been done before, or what do you think should be done different that has not been done before? And I think Anthony's going to come up and answer that question. We're going to have 1 minute on the timer, Michelle. 1 minute for these responses, guys.
You say something different that's not been done before, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I'd like to do that would be different is I would like to meet with my district people the week before we have a physical court meeting and let them talk to me about what they need, what they're missing in the district. I don't think it's ever been done before where you have an individual meeting with your people in your district. Meet at a church, and anyone that has questions, they can bring them to me then. There's some people that maybe can make it to, I can set a time that they could make it, but they can't make it to the regular meetings. So, that's never been done before. Of course, I'm not bragging about this, but, starting grants, I don't think anyone had ever applied for a competitive grant in Morgan County that I know of. And like I say, I was told you can't do it, and that's all it took. Aggravation. Time? Okay. I don't think it's ever been done that way. But to give my friend a chance, the woman,
I honestly don't know of anything that I would do different. I just want to make District 5 a better place, better community. I've got 2 children that's growing up there. I'd like for it to be better for them, safer roads, cleaner place, some kind of side road like garbage detail pickup, stuff like that. I know there's a lot of activity in some of the areas where I live that's illegal, that, children get out and get a hold of something like that, and, it could hurt them. I mean, it could kill them, give them some kind of disease. We don't want that. Nobody wants that for their children. And that's what I want. Thank you all.
I thought about this. One of the things campaigned on when I was running for state representative was a hemp distribution center to be able to utilize not marijuana, but hemp, and have our farmers be able to get back to work on their fields, use those old tobacco barns now again for something. Hemp can be used for a lot of things, and it's not for the drug use. Another thing is the helicopter pads in each district. That was one of the priorities I was wanting to do last time, behind the fire department there at Blackwater. So these, our ambulance service and our first responders have a good place to land the helicopter when you're out in the district, out in the county. Morgan County is a huge county. It would make it a lot easier for them to have a location they go to straight there with the ambulance to get on the helicopter pad. Thank you.
There's not a lot that I would want to do different, because I feel like we're doing a pretty good job the way it is. I would like to see more people. Y'all come to the meetings and express yourself. That would be a big help for everybody. That's about it. Thank you.
Guys, I don't know what I could do different than what they're already doing, but I will say this. I've done road construction for 8 years, grade and drain, and I don't know if any of the magistrates do it now, but I'd be more than happy to get in the truck with the judge and the road foreman and ride around and look at some of these roads and see if I couldn't help them address some of the problems and, try to encourage them on positive draining and stuff like that. Just be a helping hand, whether it be in my district or anywhere else in the county. Because, a magistrate is over a certain district, but your vote on a lot of times is county-wide. And I don't only want to see District 2 get better, I'd like to see the whole county get better. And I don't know if any of the other magistrates do that. They may do it. But if not, that's something that I would be happy to help out with. Thank you.
The question is, what would you change? I can't really speak to what I would change because I've not been a part of the county government. You know, I don't really know where we're going wrong or, you know, what's going on. They may be doing the best job they can do. What I can say is that if I was elected to the job, that I would use the same skills I've developed throughout my whole career. You know, it's to identify the friction points, figure out why we can't get this funding, and listening to the guys that have been magistrates. Seems the main issue is funding. You know, building relationships with those representatives in the federal government is a big part of that. You know, county judges come and go. It's good to have that relationship with people that may be there a little longer than the representative of your county. So reaching out to try to get that funding for your areas or for the whole county, and trying to work with other magistrates to help them get money, you know, for the playgrounds or whatever it is that we need in the community that would make the whole county better. You know, and I would like to welcome business into the county. You know, if we had more housing, maybe some subdivisions, more playgrounds, better schools, you know, it all works together. And, you know, the physical court needs to work together, the whole county government, the city government, everybody just needs to work together and, you know, surround ourselves with the best team we can for the community.
I saw State Representative Brandon Smith walk in and Richard White. Where's Representative? Richard White was here. One thing I'd like to talk about, I don't know if you saw it or not, but there's a bill out there that's for storm shelters. Storm shelters, the state will pay half of that. Looks like it's going to be around $10,000 is what a contractor was telling me. If we could get those in each community, if we have landowners that want to get on their farm, or if there's multiple ones, it has to be for community use. It can't be just for personal use. Open them up. Storm comes, you open them up. They're there for the community. If we get those, get some grants to pay for the extra part, I believe that we could really do some good things with that in our communities. But I sat down and I got beat up pretty hard by myself, because one thing that I had on my mind is we lost a really good master and a good friend this past year in Donnie Keaton over in District 2. He loved his community. He took a young man, that was me, wanted to run equipment, thought he wanted to run equipment, and hired him, and he was just a good friend. And again, he thought a lot of his community. So in District 2, you got quite a few guys here that you need to choose wisely, because he's got big shoes to fill. But thank you.
I appreciate it. I know it's a little hard when you've got questions like that impromptu to answer. That's why I wanted to give it to you before the auction, give you a minute to think about it. But thank each and every one of you. I appreciate you. Couple points that I want to make right real quick before we welcome our jailer candidates. If they want to come up here to the reserved row so that Mikey can let them draw numbers and see who speaks first and second. Two things I wanted to say. Number one, if you don't attend these meetings and get your voice heard, they don't know what your needs are in your community necessarily. So it's always a good idea to attend meetings. That's the way you can be informed where the funding is lacking, where the funding is, what the procedures are to get funding. I've always said it's easy to serve in a position on the outside looking in when you don't know what the requirements necessarily are. So when you're there at a meeting and you can see how the inner workings actually are and the things that are happening and can happen and cannot happen, I encourage everybody that can to attend all of their meetings. Another thing, if you'll look around you, everybody that's in here is a voter tonight. I don't know if you'll have another audience where you speak to every soul that you're speaking to is going to be going to the polls to vote. So that's also a good thing for tonight. Which one of you wants to go first? All right, Norman's going to go first. While he's coming up here, if our sheriff candidates can come up here to the hot seat and get their numbers drawn so we can see their speaking orders. You adjust that however you need to up or down.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name's Norman Rao. I'm a candidate for Morgan County Jailer. I'm running on an independent ticket. You guys won't see me till the fall, so I'm here to try to do the best I can. I'm not a real good speaker, but I'm gonna try. I know the jail's a very important thing when you transport prisoners and stuff, but you know, I want to do more than transport. We've got a lot of cemeteries and stuff out here. I'm really interested in fixing and stuff. Tombstones turned over. I used to build a lot of chain link fence, and I think I would be a great asset to the jailer's office. But I want to work the prisoners. I know they don't want to sit all the time in jail, and I'm thinking that I used to work them at the prison, and we had a real good relationship working them, and it really worked out good for us. So I want to do that, apply that to Morgan County. I think it'll be a great help and a great asset. Also, you know, we can beautify our counties as well and pick up garbage and whatever. And I see other counties are doing it, and I don't see why we can't do it. So I really would be interested in doing this with the inmates if I'm elected. It's up to the people here in Morgan County. If you want to give me a shot, I'll be more than welcome. I'm a hard worker. I do my very best at whatever I go at and get results. I'm a 65-year-old, but I'm still in pretty good shape, and I'll do my very best. And I want to wish all the candidates good luck, and we'll all, maybe one of these days, we can all work together. God bless each and every one of us, and that's about all I've got to say.
Hello and good evening. I think most of you probably know me. My name is Loy Atkins, and I'm the Morgan County Deputy Jailer right here as we speak. I think all candidates here, we all have different ideas and thoughts and concerns. But I think one thing we all should have one common goal, and that's making Morgan County the best version of itself. And how are we going to do that, you may ask? You know, you got to get the right people in the right positions. I mean, this is how it works, you know. And, you know, I don't just think of this as an election, you know. I think of this as it's actually a hiring process, you know. And I think it was November the 5th, I filed for the position of jailer. I'm not running against anybody. I'm running for something. I'm running for the position. And any time that you put yourself in that position, you need to be a leader. And that's just kind of how that works there. So anytime that you put yourself in that position, you want to do the best, make the county the best version of itself. And we've got to stick together. We've got to work together. You know, if you put yourself in the right positions, a lot of things can happen as long as we stick together. But the way I look at things, you know, I put an application in for a job, and you guys are the hirers. You're the one going to be doing the hiring, and you're going to be the one doing the firing. So when I put my application in, when you go down and look down through there, and it says, well, what's your qualifications on your application? And, you know, I've done this job for 14 years. I worked 3 years for DLC. I've done all high-profile transports. I've transported people from, you know, as like a fine, a pay or stay fine or something like that, doing life without parole, you know, and I've been north, south, east, west in the state of Kentucky. I've been to every prison except for 2. I've been from the Funiac, Florida, Detroit, Michigan, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Chillicothe, Ohio, you name it, doing extradition with the Sheriff's Department. I've worked with probation and parole, city, county, state. I've worked with the U.S. Marshals. I've done a little bit of everything when it comes to this job. And, you know, this job's not for everybody. And I'll tell you a prime example. One time on January 16th, 2021, I was working for Kentucky DLC. When you do this job, you better have your head on a swivel. You ain't going to have it long. One day I was going down the road. I went to Lexington, Kentucky, and dropped 3 inmates off. They were done with their sentence. drop them off and not cuff shackle or nothing. I drop them off and I'm on my way back, and then out in the distance, I see a dim light. I get to looking at that light, and I said, that just doesn't look right. When I get up there, there's a guy sitting over on the westbound lane, sitting off there to the side. His car is broken down. It was on fire. He didn't know it. I pull off, put all my lights on, and get out. I run across 4 lanes of traffic, go to pull him out, and he starts fighting me. I start screaming at him. I'm not going to tell you what I said, and I didn't know what I said until his mother told me. Sorry about that, but I told him, I said, look at here, your car's on fire. When I pull him out, we run approximately 30 yards away. That's 90 feet. That's not very far down through there. I still got him by the wrist. When I get him across the road, when our feet touch the medium in the grass, the car blows up. We turn around and look. Fire rolls on the back of the car, sucks up, fully engulfed. I get him across the other 2 lanes. I get him in a safe place, call 911, tell the fire department to come and put the car out because it's destroyed, and his family comes and gets him. You know, if that day, if that captain over at Little Sandy Correctional Complex in Sandy Hook, Kentucky, would send a rookie out there doing a transport, you know what happened? Approximately 5 years and 3 months from that day, this guy'd been dead. You know what? This job isn't for everybody, and I'm not saying that anybody else can't do it, but I'm saying I'm the most qualified, and there's no doubt about it. There's only one man around here I think is more qualified for that, and he's retiring. And when he walks out the door, he'll have about 2 more years' experience than I do. Okay? I've heard a lot of things that says, talking about the garbage thing. Okay, what you don't know, and all these people as leaders, we need to volunteer. There's a lot of places out here that needs volunteer work. That saves a lot of money. Myself, I'm a co-founder of Morgan County Cops for Kids, and what we do, we go around we do fundraisers all year long and buy Christmas gifts for the misfortunate kids in the county because most of it stems from the drug epidemic. You know, everybody knows we've got family and there's people out there on drugs, and a lot of the people has dropped their kids off to grandma's house and they're out there running around strung out like a research monkey. And you know, we got to help them. And if we deal with our kids, we might not have to deal with them and turn 18 years old. And I've heard some people speak about the garbage. Is it over? Well, they're getting ready to jerk me off the stage, but I do want to add this. We do a garbage pickup, and any of the magistrates want to get a hold of me, you can see a certain amount on the county roads. We will come pick your garbage up. Thank you, and God bless.
All right, we do have a question for our jailers, our jailer candidates, but here's what we're going to do. I'm going to let the sheriff candidate speak first, and you all can go ahead and exit the stage. And what I'll do is give you the question and let you have just a minute to think about it while they're speaking, and then we'll call you all back up and you can answer this question right here. All right, you ready? What do you think would be the number one way that we could reduce the jail bill for Morgan County? What do you think would be the number one way to reduce the jail bill for Morgan County? All right, while they're thinking about that a little bit, we're going to welcome our sheriff candidates to the stage. And if everybody could come right on up to the stage. I do want to make an announcement. We had one magistrate that called me this morning, Mr. Tim Hansen, who's running in District 4, and he was ill and couldn't be here. And I had a call also from Anthony Gullett, who was ill and could not be here. Both of them are just a little under the weather, and wanted to let you all know that they would have been here if they could have. So it looks like the way that the draw has come out is John Paul will speak first, and Roger will speak second, Kenneth will speak third, and Jeff will speak fourth. I also have one more little announcement to make. On my jailer candidates list, I had inadvertently listed Norman as a Democrat, and he's running independent. The other typo on this agenda, I had Jeff down running as Democrat, and he is running as a Republican. So I apologize for those two typos. They were brought to my attention after I'd already copied these, but I did make a corrected version and put out on Facebook. But still, I apologize for those typos, and you all join me in welcoming John Paul to the speaker.
I never draw first, no way, shape, or form. Good evening, everyone. I'm John Paul Turner, your Democratic candidate for Morgan County Sheriff. I too would like to make the Rotary Club, I really appreciate you guys doing this. You do a great job. They're good people to have in our community, as well as Mountain Telephone too. It's good to have them here. I appreciate you guys too. A little bit about myself. I've been in law enforcement for 33 years. I worked for the Kentucky State Police. Started with the West Liberty Police Department. Graduated to the Kentucky State Police, and now, after retirement, I come back to work for the Morgan County Sheriff's Office. I've spent almost my entire adult life as a police officer, serving the citizens of this county and eastern Kentucky, and it's truly been my pleasure to do that. Looking forward, if elected sheriff, I've got some plans. I plan on hiring a couple of more deputies if we can get the funding. One deputy which would do drug investigations, undercover drug investigations, and that would complement our current undercover drug investigations. We got a real drug problem. We need to continue to address it. But it takes money and it takes manpower. The second deputy would take over patrol duties. Currently, we don't have 24-hour patrol. I believe we could do it with one more deputy, and that way, that would help us out, and it also better for the community. The community deserves that. I also plan on implementing a crime tip line, not just a drug tip line, but a crime of any kind, so that people could call in, leave a message, and they don't have to worry about being identified as being the reporter. Also, currently, under the direction of the current sheriff, I've been working on a radio system. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. Our radio system is bad at best. Our guys can't talk outside city limits most of the time. That makes us have longer response times, plus it's an officer safety issue. We're working on getting a grant for that, but we're putting together some proposals and doing some structural things to make that happen. Also, folks, in closing, I'd like to say we have a pretty good sheriff's office right now. I plan on keeping it that way. And again, my name's John Paul Turner. I'm running for sheriff. And if you vote for me, your vote will be appreciated. Thank you.
I want to start out my comments tonight saying I'm a Christian and I try to be a witness for God everywhere I go. I've been blessed with good health and good family, and sure has been good. God has been good to me, but I can't run the 50-yard dash like I used to. I should have shared this message 35 years ago. Some of you will know what I'm talking about. My past is generally brought up by someone every time I run. Tonight I want to tell you how I became a convicted felon. Many of you only heard what the public was told by the press all the time. Yes, I was working a drug investigation 35 years ago. That's my third term as your sheriff. I met with 2 Kentucky State Police officers and explained to them about my drug investigation concerning drugs being brought into West Liberty Airport. I also met with our Commonwealth attorney at the time. I met with these same state police officers and the Commonwealth attorney 3 different times. Discussed my drug investigation. I told these officers and the Commonwealth attorney about meeting with some men concerning flying drugs into the county on 3 different occasions. However, I was not aware these men were actually undercover FBI agents who were just pretending to bring drugs into our county. It was all lies, just a sting operation for the FBI. I have absolutely never, ever lied on the witness stand. I took the FBI polygraph test and passed it 100%. I did not take part in any drug operation in our county. It didn't exist. It was an FBI sting operation in eastern Kentucky that made national news in the 80s. Yes, I was found guilty because the state police officers and the Commonwealth Attorney would not verify that they were aware of the sheriff's investigation. They each said they couldn't remember. I told him 3 times. Those same 2 state police officers that I told about my undercover drug investigation ran for sheriff when I resigned from my office. That's something to think about. Later, the Commonwealth Attorney apologized for not supporting me at my trial. Also, one of the state police officers said he was sorry because he couldn't speak up for me. He was worried about his retirement. One of the other state police officers was working with the FBI. Everything I told him, all the information I gave and everything, he was giving it to the feds. So yes, I am aware of having a past that could hurt me in getting elected. I served 30-some months and all that happened 35 years ago. However, many would tell you a different story, not the negative ones that some of you always believe in here. As a law officer, we don't hold the subject's past against them. Would you want a police officer to mistreat your family based on their past offense? As I look around the crowd, I remember some things of your past. Trust me, I would never hold against you. When the good Lord forgives you, he never remembers them again, us no more. Forgiven, forgotten as far as the east is from the west, the Bible says. I never failed to answer a call when I was sheriff. I stopped bootlegging in Morgan County, and I could surely tell you some stories about that. During my tenure as sheriff of Morgan County, there was no drug overdose cases and no drug dealers. I only had 2 deputies, and we patrolled the county. Many times, your sheriff, I pulled off the road in a cruiser and walked across the field where some old farmer was plowing or mowing, and I'd stop and talk to him and see if everything was all right, if he needed more help. And I visit every little store and also talk to them. I was out in the county constant as a police presence. Was important then and is now as well. I was available to listen, really listen to our people and see what the different issues were and how I could help them. We all have a past, but let's look forward to the future, not the past. Everything changes, we are aware of. If elected as your next sheriff, I plan my top priority is to hold drug dealers accountable through constant law enforcement. My goal is to reduce illegal drugs and make our county safer. I will increase patrols in high-risk areas, collaborate with neighboring counties, and partner with local organizations to strengthen our community efforts. Residents are encouraged to contact me directly with concerns about drugs in their area. People have asked me over and over why I'm running for sheriff. I always say, if I could save one child's life and stop one lousy drug dealer, it'd be worth it. My second top priority is to open the 2017 case of Carrie Burgett, who disappeared in 2017. These people need closure. I need your vote to be elected as the next sheriff of Morgan County. I appreciate how well you listen to me. Thank you for coming tonight. My slogan is, right time, right choice. I need your help. Vote Roger Benton, Republican candidate sheriff. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Scarberry. It's always hard to go after 2 other people because they've got your ideals if they're any good. So, I was raised in Morgan County, and I've devoted my life to the service of the county and the country. After graduating high school, I joined the U.S. Army. I did 4 years active duty there. I came back home. Then I went to the prison, and I worked at EKCC for 2 years. Then I joined the West Liberty Police Department and was there for 3 years. Then I spent right at 23 years in the federal government. I got promoted to U.S. Forest Service Law Enforcement Investigations. While I was with that agency, I was promoted to special agent. I was responsible for investigating the crimes on the Daniel Boone National Forest, the Land Between the Lakes Recreation Area, and 3 Job Corps centers that has 1,000 people apiece in them on the Mammoth Cave National Park and Daniel Boone National Forest, all the while covering 21 counties in eastern Kentucky and 5 in Tennessee. And then over the course of my career, I've investigated crimes including murder, rape, the murder happened here in Morgan County. We convicted 5 different people. Sexual assault, money laundering, counterfeiting, racketeering, theft, the international wildlife trafficking, and major drug operations. I was also sworn in as a Deputy U.S. Marshal, a drug enforcement agent, and Kentucky Fish and Wildlife Officer, and State Police Officer. At this time, I worked with all state and federal agencies. I've completed several state and federal police academies and graduating with top honors and numerous leadership and budget management courses. I think that my decades in law enforcement has given me a unique opportunity to lead Morgan County into the future. And I have a vision for the county. Transparency, we'll start there. Weekly updates of arrests, served papers, complaints, answered on website and social media. Friendly, caring staff at the office and in the field. Taxes will be done in a timely manner, vehicle inspections done fast. The SROs, the school resource officers, will also be teaching a drug program while providing safety and security to the students. All incidents that happen at the schools will be looked at by me personally, and all decisions will be made in accordance with the law, period. I'm going to look into starting a local sheriff's camp here in the county. I've seen it happen in Menifee County, and I know it can happen. For the young kids that attend during the summer break, starting a sheriff's posse for the young boys and girls of the county that are interested in becoming a deputy. This will all be volunteer ran. It won't cost the county a dime. I will be applying for any and all grants to assist with office funding. John Paul was talking about the radios. Hal Rogers' office just got a grant in for $200 and some million. I talked to him. He said that it's available for Eastern Kentucky, only Eastern Kentucky. The opioid epidemic isn't political. It's a personal thing that's impacting everyone across the county, state, and nation. I have a plan to cut into this problem, and it will go to effect on day one. I and my deputies will work tirelessly to catch and prosecute every dealer from the bottom to the top. I'll work with the people that have complaints about these types of activities and focus on the suspects and build solid cases that will stand up in court. I will use every means at my disposal to make life miserable for these people so they will not want to be conducting this type of lawless activity in our county. We can only do this with the partnership of each community. I have connections with the state and federal agencies that I have worked with in Kentucky for over 20 years. I can get equipment from the federal government to assist the sheriff's office with the counter-drug operations. Let me leave you with this thought. A lot of you have never had to call law enforcement. You haven't even ever been a victim of a crime. So you don't know the magnitude of having someone show up that's had training and ethical decision-making to help you or a loved one. It is so, so important. If you or a loved one was in danger, if your child or grandchild was kidnapped, who would you want working the case? Thank you very much. I appreciate your vote.
I have no clue how I'm going to follow that. So, my name is Jeffrey Smith, Republican candidate for sheriff. A lot of people call me Jeff, Jeffrey Darrell, Pup. I'll answer to anything. I'm married. I have 3 kids, ages 10, 7, and 16 months. They are my investment back into the community, and they're the main reason I'm running for sheriff. I started my career in law enforcement November of 2015 with the Kentucky Department of Corrections. I was fortunate enough to be able to work through multiple facilities across the state, in and outside of the fence. On July 1 of 2019, I was blessed and fortunate enough to be able to be hired on with the Sheriff's Department. I graduated the Police Academy in 2020. After graduating, I started my career as a road unit, gradually worked my way up to the rank of sergeant to my current role as chief deputy. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected as sheriff, I will continue the progress the sheriff's office has made. I will ensure that every call is handled with care and responded in a timely, professional manner. I would like to get more training for our deputies, such as active shooters and school safety scenarios to ensure our children are protected and kept safe while at school, at ball games, or at school functions. I feel it's also my duty to keep the citizens of Morgan County more informed on the activities of the sheriff's office. You elected one of us to do a job, you should be informed on what we're doing. I would like to put out monthly reports such as arrests made, collisions worked, citations issued, calls for service, so that way you know that we're actually working for what you want to be changed. I would also like to work with surrounding local, state, and local law enforcement agencies to come up with ways to mitigate the drug trafficking and abuse in our communities. I would like to set up monthly meetings with the sheriffs and chiefs and come up with a way to mitigate that. I want to file for state and federal grants so we can update our equipment so we can better serve the community, all with saving budgeted funds through fiscal court and the sheriff's office. I would like to appreciate the Rotary Club for having us and also their service projects. I would greatly appreciate your support in this election. Thank you.
I appreciate each and every one of you speaking to us today. I know that public speaking is not everybody's forte, but these gentlemen all did a very good job. But guess what? They get a question too. This question is going to be probably one of the most difficult questions of the night because I understand that your job is very varied. But here is the question. As sheriff, if you are elected, what will be your number one priority for Morgan County? Which means you got a limit down to one number one priority. So while you are thinking about that, we are going to get our two candidates for jailer back up here to answer their question. And you all can hang out right here and think about that. You don't have to leave the stage. We'll get Lowell and Norman back up here. Which one of y'all spoke first last time? You? All right, you come speak first this time. We'll make it fair.
Okay, I think our question was, what will we do to help balance the budget of the jail? One thing that I would like to go back to, there's a thing called a body receipt. Anytime that you get somebody that has been charged or convicted, anytime you transport anybody that's a CR case or a F case, that means a felony case, we can collect those body receipts and we will send them in, and the state will pay us, 40-some cents a mile, I think, for the transport, 41 or 43 cents per mile. And that money goes right back to the general fund here in Morgan County. It doesn't go to the jailer's department. It doesn't go in our pocket. It goes to the people. And another thing, I like to get a thing and work with the district at least, a thing called preset bonds. Right now, when a bond comes out, whatever the Commonwealth or county attorney's office puts on the warrant, that's what it is. You either pay, you stay, you go to jail. If it has a bond on it, you ain't got the money, you go to jail. That's $45 every time we drive someone down to Moorhead, and it costs of the fuel and our time. What I like to do is get some preset bonds. You know, I think we've got nearly 20 years of service, and we ought to have enough of common sense to know whether somebody needs to go to jail or not. You know what I mean? And if we think that, you know, we can have, like that, one time we had like 4 sheets of preset bonds, and we looked at bond. If you had I think it was like a assault fourth. I remember one time it was a $2,000, and if they wasn't being too awful bad, and it was just minor injury, we had the authority to 10% that for $200. You know, we could bond them out, they go on, and then they would take it up with Miles in court and the district judge and things of that nature. So everybody doesn't have to go to jail. I mean, and I think we ought to know when the time for people to go to jail or they shouldn't go to jail. And some people just needs to go to jail. There's not no good old buddy system. We've got guidelines. We've got it wrote in black and white. There ain't no just because you're my cousin's brother's uncle's first cousin on my dad's side means you don't go to jail because you're my friend. You go to jail or you don't. You know, and we've got guidelines and it's set to go or to go home. You know what I mean? And you know, that saves a lot of money. And I have to get over it again. Here she cut me off again. I was hoping there'd be a bell, like a dinner bell or something going off.
We did have a bell the last time.
Right, I was hoping for the bell. I've got a lot more to say, but they won't let me know.
We have 1 minute, you all, for this. I just wanted to remind everybody because it is a shorter time frame. So, yes, just 1 minute.
I think if Morgan County had a jail, I believe that'd solve a lot of our problems. And I've always been an advocate for one, and I'd like to see them get it. It's a money-making business. And people don't have to run all the way to Moorhead to see their family members or something. And we can get state and federal money, to house prisoners. You get paid twice the money you do for a state prisoner as a federal prisoner. And, it'd take the burden off of Morgan County if we had a jail. And a rehab center sitting right beside of it. We can do this and create jobs all the time. It's a win-win situation. And that's what I'm going to campaign on. And that's what I feel like. And, that's my opinion. And I think if you could take that bill off the county, you could really see progress done. So thank you all.
All right, I think we're going to do the same for our sheriff candidates that we did for our magistrate candidates and go in reverse order because it seems the fairest thing to do. So the first speaker up for our sheriff response question of what will be your number one priority as sheriff of Morgan County will be Jeff.
So like she said, this response is going to be varied. As many of you know, our job, it could be quiet 1 minute, booming the next, getting shot at the next, to sitting down, drinking a cup of coffee, doing a report. The drug problem's an issue. It's going to take a while to fight that. School safety, we're doing a pretty good job at that. Just like John Paul and Kenneth talked about, our radio system needs to be a strong priority. Radio systems, if we don't have them, we can't make a determination on what the call is when we get there. It's hard for us to find addresses, hard for us to keep updated on situations as we're going to a location of whatever it may be. I think right there is going to be a main priority for us is getting radio systems so we can better serve you, better response time, and all in all, just make the sheriff's office better in communication.
I said this in my little speech just a minute ago. My number one priority, and Jeff's priority is actually a really good one too, but my number one priority is the opioid epidemic because it impacts everyone. There's no one in this county, in this state, that hasn't been touched by the drug problem. So that is the one thing that I would do from day one. As I sit here, me and my deputies will work tirelessly to answer complaints, to work these people. We'll put cameras out on the side of the road. Anything we need to do, we can do it, and I'll make it happen. Thank you.
My priority thing is if you call for a sheriff to make sure that your call is answered. And yes, I will do everything I can against the drug dealers. I don't care to tell them I will. If I have to have a deputy sit in front of their house, 8-hour shifts, I'll have it done or I do it myself. I am going after the drug dealers. Thank you.
I think the most important thing that we can do, we're already doing, but I think we need to continue to do it, is school safety. It's when you drop your kids off in the morning, you see one of our deputies standing in front of your school, that's the most important thing to me. That I know my kids go to school and they're not going to have violence at school, and we've got that covered pretty well. It takes a very special person to be at the school. You can't just take anybody off the street and train them to do that. And we mentor a lot of kids while at the school. We talk with them, and I think if we catch them early, it solves a lot of your drug problems, a lot of your thieving problems. It solves a lot of problems. I think that's the most important thing. Thank you.
Each and I want to thank you all. You all did really well. It's hard to limit when you have to choose one priority. I understand that. So if we will have our auctioneers back up, also we'll have our judge executive candidates be down here on our on deck row, please. I also want to announce that, just a minute here. Did somebody need an agenda, because I had an extra one up here? Somebody said they needed one. Okay, good deal, good deal. I just wanted to make sure you had one.
All right, we got, I think, 9 or 10 items left up here, guys, so this will be our last auction segment. Just remind you all, you've got a lot of good free advertisement here tonight through the Rotary Club, so get your hands up. Appreciate you. Lowell Atkins. Chocolate pie. All right, everybody, y'all tell me, but about $10. Hit about $10 bid, hit about 10, but about 10. Now 12.5 and 15, but about 15, 17.5. 17.5, hit about 17.5, 20. Now 2.5. $20 bid, now 2.5. What do you say? But 22.5, now 5. 25, now 27.5. Would have been 27.5. 25 up here in the front, now 27.5. Anybody else? Chocolate pie. 27.5 anywhere. Hit about 27.5. Would have been half. 27.5 in the very back, now 30. $30 went back in, Frank. $30, but about $30 bid. 30, now 2.5 in the back. 30, now 2.5. At about 32.5, would have been 32.5. $30 bid, 32.5, now 5. 35 would have been 5, 35 would have been 5. 35, now 37.5. At about 37.5. 37.5 in the back. Hit at about 37.5, or 35, now 37.5. One more time. 37.5, now $40. At about $40 bid. Hit about $40, but a dollar, but a $40, but a dollar 40. Now 2.5. At about 40, now 2.5. Would have been 42.5. Would have been half at a 42.5. 42.5, 42.5, now 5. At about 5 to 45, now 47.5, would have been 47.5. 47.5, would have been half at a 47.5 in the very back. 47.5, anybody else? 47.5, now 50. At about $50 bid. Now 2.5, would have been 52.5, would have been 52.5, would have been half at a 52.5, would have been 52.5 in the back. 52.5, anybody else on the chocolate pie? 52.5, would have been half at a 52.5. $50, Frankie buys, $50. Frankie. Yep, $50, Frankie. But hold on 1 minute. Lowell Atkins, another chocolate pie. So, got another one just like it. Now, what do you say in the back? How about 40? Hit about $40 bid. Hit about 40, but a 40. Chocolate pie again, $30. Hit about $30 bid. Hit have been $30, but $20 and go. Hit have been $20 and go. Hit have been $20, but a dollar, $20. 20 now 5. 20 over here now 5. Hit have been 5. I'm 20 over here now 5. But have been 5. 25 now 30. But about 25. You're out, Michelle. Would have been 25 now 30. $30 now 5. 35 would have been 5, but 35. Would have been 5, but $35 bid. Hit have been 35, but 5. Get your hands up now. But about 35 would have been 5, but 35. Anybody else? 35 now 40. $40 bid, 35 now 40, but a 37.5. 37.5 now 40. 37.5 now $40 bid. Who'd have been $40, but a 37.5 now 40. Who'd have been $40, but a dollar, but a $40. Everybody done? $40 bid on the chocolate pie. $40. 37.5 in the third row here. And that goes to Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith. Yep. Pineapple upside down cake. Donated by Kelly Bowman here. Pineapple upside down cake. Good and it looks. All right, what's it worth? Hit about 25, would have been 5, but 25, would have been 5, 25, now 30, but about 25, now 30, but about $30 bid, 25, now $30 bid. Who'd have been, don't let me miss your bids now. I'm 25, now 30, 25, now 30, now 5, would have been 5, but 35, would have been 5, but 35, would have been 5. I'm 30 over here, now 5, would have been 5, but 35, would have been 5, but 35, 30 over here, now 5, 35, now 40, would have been 40, but a 40, now 5, would have been 5, but a 45, would have been 5, but a 45, 45, now 50, would have been 50, now 5, would have been 5, but a 5, but a 55, 55 in the back, would have been 55, would have been 5, but it was pineapple upside down. 55 on 50 over here, now 5. Would have been 55, would have been 5, but a 55, but about 52 and a half, let you in. 52 and a half, would have been half, but a 52 and a half, would have been half, but a 52 and a half. Everybody done? 52 and a half, last call, 52 and a half. $50, sell it to Ned buys. $50.
Norman had bought this and he's saying bidder again.
Bidder again, okay. What is that one? Miles Holbrook, that was a caramel cake, and Norman bought it, and he's going to resell it again. Norman Rao bought this. It was donated by Miles. He bought it earlier, and he's going to donate it again. What was that cake again? I forgot. Caramel cake, selling it again. Hit it back on the caramel cake. Hit about 25, would have been 5, but 25 now 30. $25 bid now 30. Would have been $30 bill now, but about $30, but a 25 over here now $30 bill. Would have been $30, 30 anywhere, 25 now 30, now 5. Would have been 5, but 35 now 40, but about $40 bid now 5, but about 45. 40 here now 5, would have been 5, but a 45. I'm 40 over here now 5, would have been 5, but a 45, would have been 5. 42 and a half anywhere. Would have been a 42 and a half, would have been a 42 and a half. Last call, 42 and a half. Seller in the back, $40, $40. And what's that name on it? It's Mr. Sorrel, Grant Sorrel buys. Here we go. From Lisa and Jim Gazay, and this will be an apple stack cake. Here we go. What's it worth? Hit it about $50. Hit it about 50. Now 60. $50 bid now 60. $50 bid now 60, but about $60. I'm 50 and gone now 60. Hit about $60. Heavy it is. I'm 50 now 60, but about $60 bid. Don't drop it. 50 now 60. Got you. Y'all hear that? Fresh apples made by Wilma Sexton. I'm 50, now 60. Would have been 60. Would have been $60 bid. Would have been 60, but about 60, but about 60. I'll go 60, 70. Would have been 70, but about $70. Would have been 70, 70 now 80. Would have been 80, but that is 70 now 80. Anybody else? $80, 70 now 80. Got you in 70 now $80 bill. 70 now 80, but about 80, but about 70. How about 75? 75, apple stack cake. 75 now 80, but about 80, but about 75 now 80, but 80 now 5, but have been 5, but 85 now 90 now 5, but have been 5, but 95, 95 now $100 bill down 10, 100 gone down 10, but about 10, but about 100 here now 10, $100 bid now 10, but about 10, but about 10, but $100 bid now 10, hit a bit of 10, but about 10, but about 100 gone down 10. Anybody else? 105 last time, $105 bid, who'd have been 105, would have been 5, but $105, $105. Anybody? $105, $100. Sell it in the back, sell it in the back. What's that name on that one? That is heavy. Go back to Lisa. Don't blame me. Yeah, that's yeah. Homemade peanut butter cake. Lisa Fannin. Homemade peanut butter cake. Hit about 25, what's it worth? Hit about 25, now 30, 25, now 30, but about 25, now 30, but about $30 bill now, but about 20, 30, now 5, but have been 35, now 40, but about $40 bill, 35, now 40, 35, now 40, but about 30, 35 over here, now 40. 40 anywhere, I'm 35, 40 in the back, now 5. I'm 40 in the very back, now 5. Hit about 5, but a 45, but have been 5, but a 40, now 5. Won't back in, 45, but have been 40, now 5. Who'd have been 45, how about 42 and a half? 42 and a half. Anybody else? I'm 40 in the back, now 42 and a half. 42 and a half would have been half, but a 42 and a half last call. Would have been 42 and a half. 42 and a half and 5. Would have been 5, but a 5, but a 45 would have been 5, 45, now 7 and a half. 47 and a half and 50. Would have been $50 bid, now 2 and a half. Would have been $50 bid, now 2 and a half. Would have been half, but a 50 here, now 2 and a half. Would have been half, but a 52 and a half. Anybody else? 52 and a half. Everybody done? 52 and a half. $50 in the very back. What name you want on that one? Richard White buys. Here we go. Kenneth Scarberry, Southern Pecan Pie. $10. How about $10 and go? Would have been 10, but about 10, but about $10 and go. Would have been 10, but about 10 pecan pie. 10 right here in the front row, now 12 and a half. $10 bid now 12 and a half. Would have been 12 and a half. 10 here now 12 and a half. Would have been 10 now 12 and a half on the pecan. 12 and a half now 15. Now 17 and a half. Would have been 17 and a half. Now 20. Then 20 now 2 and a half. Would have been 22 and a half. Now 5. Would have been 25. Would have been 5. Would have been 25. Would have been 25. 22 and a half right here in the front row. Now 25. 22 and a half. 25 now 7 and a half. 25 now 7 and a half. Would have been 27 and a half. 25 now 7 and a half on the pecan pie. 25 now 7 and a half. Would have been 27 and a half. Anybody else? 27 and a half. $25 right there. And what name you want on this one? Scarberry again. Scarberry. Thank you. Sean Van Cleve here. It's a heck of a cake. It's a big one. Reese cups. Big Reese cup cake. Homemade. All right. What's it worth, Robbie? How about y'all tell me? Oh, okay. All right, how about $30? How about a $30 bill on the big cake? 30, now 5, 35, now 40, but about $40 bid. 40 now 5, but about 5, but a 45 now $50. $50 bid. Who'd have been the $50, but a dollar, but a $50, but a dollar, but a $50. 45 over here, now $50. 45 now 50. Who'd have been 50? No sampling now. Who'd have been a $50 bill, but about $50. 50 now 5. Who'd have been 5, but a 55, but have been 5, but a 50 over here now 5. Here but about 5, but a 55, but have been 5, but a 55, but have been 5, but a 55. Who'd have been 5, but a 55. Would have been 5. Everybody's looking at it now. 55 would have been 5 but a 55. I'm 50 over here now 5. About 2 and a half. 52 and a half would have been half at a 52 and a half would have been half at a 52 and a half. Everybody done? $50 bill down 2 and a half would have been half at a 52 and a half. $50 bill right here. What name you want on it? Van Cleve. Van Cleve buys. That's a big one. Whichever one you want. All right, up next, old-fashioned dried apple pies. There's 20 little pies in here, so you can warm them right up in your toaster, made by Sharon Benton, wife of Roger, Republican sheriff candidate right here. On the apple pies, 20 of them in there, guys. Everybody y'all tell me, dried apple pie time. Everybody y'all tell me, but about $50. Hit about $50. What do you say? 50 now 60, but about 50 now 60. 50 now 60, but about 50 here now 60, about 55. $55. I'm 50 and gone. Now 55, now 60, but about 60 now 5, but about 65 now 70, but about 70 now 5, but about 5, 75 now 80. $80 bid now 5. Hit about 85 now 90, but about $90, 85 now 90. I'm 85 over here. Got her 90 and 85, 90 now 5. 90 now 5. I'm 90 over here now 5, 95 now 100, 95 now 100, but 100, but 95, 100 now 10, would have been 10, but 10, well 10, 110 now 15, would have been 110 now 15, 100 got you in, 110 now 15, Ned, 115, would have been 15 now 20, 120 now 5, would have been 25, would have been 5, but 25, would have been 125, 125, 120 in the back, 125. Basket goes with it. You're buying it all. 120 now 5. Would have been 5, boy, Ned. 125 would have been 5, but 125 would have been 5, but 125. 125, 125. Anybody else? Give everybody time to look at it. 125 would have been 5, but 25 would have been 5, but 125. I got 2 sitting right close together. I want to make sure I got you in, Ned. 125. 125, you want in? 125 would have been 125, would have been 125. Last call. It would have been 125, would have been 5, but 125. Yeah, I got the bid right behind you. I'm just making sure you know that. 125 would have been 125, would have been 5, but 125 would have been 5, but 125. $120, $120. And what name you want on it? You hear that? Bought and donate back. Bought and don't make back. Thank you. That's awesome. All right, let's try it again. What do you say? Hey, what about $60? How about $60? But about $60 bid. Who'd have been $60? But about $60? But a dollar? But a $60? But a 60 Ned. One in there. Who'd have been $60 bid? But about $60 bid. 60 everywhere. Now 70. Who'd have been 70? Now 5. But about 5. But a 75. I'm 70 over here now 5. $70 bid now 5. But have been 5. But a 70 now 5. $70 bid now 5. Would have been 5. But about 75. But have been 5. But a 75. How about 72 and a half? 72 and a half. I'm 70 over here. Now 2 and a half. 70 now 2 and a half. But have been half. 72 and a half. Now 5. Would have been 5 but a 72 and a half. Now 5. Would have been 5 but a 75. Would have been 5 but a 75. I'm 72 and a half over here. Now 5 would have been 5, but 75 would have been 5, but 75. Last call, $75 would have been 75. 72 and a half. Ned buys. Ned buys. Thank you. Getting on the short rows. Huh? What we got? Joseph Howard. All right. Chocolate variety here. Chocolate variety cake. All right. On the chocolate cake. Chocolate variety. 35 and gone. Now 40. Would have been 35, now 40. 35, now 40, but about $40 bid. Would have been $40, but about 40, but about 35, now 40. Would have been $40. I'm 35 and going up. $40. $40 bid on the chocolate variety. 35, now 40, but about $40 bid. What about 35, now 40, but about $40, but about $40. 35, how about 37 and a half? Any word? Let you in. 37 and a half last call. Would have been 37 and a half. $35. You buy, Mikey. You buy. This last one.
That's what you're trying to do, get out there and get everybody hungry.
Last one. Do you want to close her out, Mikey?
We got 2 more. That one.
Oh, okay.
35, yep. That's
right.
for Michael
I'm
C.
scared
35.
I'll
That's heavy.
Old-fashioned sorghum dried apple stack cake by Eric Pelfrey and Bonnie Perry. On apple stack cake. Is it heavy? Plate go with it? Believe it does. All right. Anybody y'all tell me? $30. Had about $30 bid. Cheap enough. 30 now 5, but about 30 now 35 now 40, but about $40 bid. 30, 40 now 5, but about 45 now 50, but about $50. 50 now 5, but a 55 now $60 bill. Would have been $60, but a 55 over here now 60. Yeah, but about 55 now 60, but about $60 bill now, but about $60, but about 55 now 60. I'm 55 over here now 60 on the apple stack cake. 55 now $60. 55 now $60, but about $60, but 55 now 60. Now 5. Would have been 65 now $70. Would have been $70, but about $70. I'm 65 over here now 70. Would have been $70 bill. Would have been $70 bill now, but about $70, but about $70. Would have been $70. Went back in 70 now 5. Would have been 5, but about 75. Would have been 5, but 75. Would have been 5, 75 now 80. Would have been $80 bid. 80 now 5. Would have been 5, but 85. Would have been 5. I'm 80 over here now 5. Would have been 5, but 85. Would have been 5 on the cake. Apple stack cake. 80 over here now 5. Would have been 5, but 85 would have been 5. Everybody done? Last call. $85. Anybody? 85 now 90. Would have been 90 now 5. Would have been 5, but about 95. Would have been 5, but about 95. Would have been 5, but $95. 95 would have been 5. I'm 90 over here now 5. 90 now 5, about 5 would have been 5, but a 95 now $100 bill. $100 bill. Now 5. 100 now 5, would have been 5. 100 now 5, but about 5, but about 5. 100 now 5. Don't let him talk you out of it. 100 now 5, would have been 5, but about 105, would have been 5, but 105. One more time. 105 would have been 5, but $105. I'm 100 over here now 5. Would have been 5, but $105 bill. Last call. You're going to lose it now. 100 over here now 5, would have been 5, but $105. 105 now 10. 105 now 10, but about 10, but about $110. 110, but about 10, but 105 now 10. Would have been 10, but about $110. Anybody else? 105 now 10. Last call on the cake. $110. Any want it? 105 now 10. Who'd have been 10 but about 110? Who'd have been 10 but about $110? $105. Motley buys. Motley buys.
You're donating to a good cause.
Resale. Resale.
It's last in the...
Was that
resale?
A resale. We got a resale again? Make sure. You want to sell this one?
You can go ahead.
You sure? You want to close
Your
it?
son, you're running with it. I like it.
All right. Who bought it?
Jim Gazette.
All right. This was originally donated by Melissa.
Did he buy that?
Yeah, he did. Gazette, 45.
All right. We reselling it? Okay. Speak now or forever hold it.
We ain't gonna fight.
He's deferring to you. I think he's deferring to you which one to resell.
Yeah.
Of course. All right.
You want to resell this one? All right.
There we go.
All right. It was originally donated by Melissa Madden, and it is a cream pie. And Gazette bought it before, and now he's going to donate her again. We're going to sell it again. This will be the last one, right? This will be the last one. of the night. All right, if you ain't got a pie, get it. Everybody, y'all tell me. What about 25? What about 5? What about 25? Would have been 5. 25 now 30. 30 now 5. Would have been 35 now 40. What about 40 now 5? Would have 45 now 50. I'm 45 now 50. Who'd have been 45 now 50? 50 now 5. Would have been 5. Would have 55. 50 got him. 45 now 50. Who'd have been 50? 45 now 50. Who'd have been 50? What about 50? You got 50 now 60. What about 55 now? 55 now 60. 55 now 60. What about 55 over here now 60? I'm 55 over here now 60. What about $60 bill now? What about 60 ducks? 55 now 60. Walker around. 55 now $60 bill. Would have been 55 now 60 bucks. What about $60? 55 now 60. Would have been $60 bill. 55 now 60. Anybody else? 55 now 60. I'm over here. 55 now $60 bill. What about $60? But a dollar, but a $60 bid. Last call. $60 bill. $55. Eric buys. Thank you, Eric. Sell it again. We'll do it again. All right. Hippity, y'all tell me. I'll go 25 now 30. 25 now 30. 30 now 5 now 40. But about $40 bill. 30, 40 now 5. But about 45. But a 45 now 50. 50 now 5. Would have been 5. But a 55. I'm 50 in the very back. Now 5. 50 now 5. Would have been 5. But a 55. But have been 55. I'm 50 back there. Now 5. Would have been 5. But about 55. How about 52 and a half? Would about 52 and a half. Would have been a half. But about 52 and a half. Would have been a half. Would have been 52 and a half. What do you say, Robbie? Would about 52 and a half. Would have been 52 and a half. Would have been a half. 52 and a half. Would have been half. But about 52 and a half. Would have been half. Would have been 52 and a half. One time. What do you say? But about 52 and a half. 52 and a half. Now 5. 55 would have been 5. I'm 52 and a half in the front row. Now 55. 55 would have been 5. But about 55 would have been 5. But a 55 would have been 5. Last call. 55 would have been 5. But a 55 would have 55. Any worse? 52 and a half. Sell it in the front row. Sell it in the front row. I bought it. That's the only one I got, so y'all ain't getting it. That's the last one, right? Thank you all. Appreciate you having me out. I'm going to turn this back over to Miss Cheryl Nike.
I said I might not have enough stickers for that one. Michelle, if you can bring me that tote back there that was sitting at Melissa's feet, I'd appreciate that. Okay, we're getting ready to welcome our judge candidates to the stage. They're drawing numbers right now because we got so busy up here auctioneering that we didn't have a chance to get them on stage. But before they come up, I'd like for us to have a big round of applause for Teddy tonight. He's done such a wonderful job. We appreciate him so very much. And we appreciate his tiniest supporters over here as well. All right, let's go on. You don't get to sit down. You draw number 1. So we got Kelly up first, then we got David Green up, and we got Walker and Jim. Take this right here.
Sure,
so I can write my notes. I know, I'm sorry.
Well, I want to thank everybody for for being here. I'm by far not a politician, not a public speaker. I can't be Quentin Murphy, but I try. I want to, Cheryl, thank you all for having this. I mean, every chance somebody gets to talk in front of somebody, you ought to do it, especially our kids. My goodness, if I'd have known now what I knew then, I would have been taking every speech class I could have. But I didn't, so we'll just try to wing it. My name's Kenneth Kelly Bowman. I'm 52 years old. I live over on 946, just outside of Ezell. I'm married. My wife, Miranda, is the principal at Ezell Elementary. I have 2 kids, Ty, sophomore in high school, Kenna, 6th grader at the middle school. I went to school here, started Ezell. I went K through 8 there, went to the high school and finished high school. Graduated high school, went to Morehead State University, got a bachelor's degree in criminology. Shortly thereafter, I became employed. I've had 3 jobs since I graduated college. I started at Eastern Kentucky Correctional Complex. Worked there for about 18 months. Really good job. I loved who I was working with. Opened my eyes to the world. 18 months in, I was accepted to the Kentucky State Police Academy. Graduated and spent the next 20 plus years with the state police. My career in the state police, I held every permanent rank, trooper, detective, sergeant, lieutenant, and captain. I retired at the Moorhead Post as post commander of Post 8, 11 counties. We had administrative operations of 11 counties. So we was trying to make 11 counties happy, and once again, you know, that's pretty tough. But I was blessed to work for the state police. I'll be a state trooper until the day I die. Greg knows, John knows, it's in you and it'll never leave, so I'm very proud of that. But after I retired, another opportunity came about when Tim Spencer wanted me to come to Menifee County and talk to him about starting them a police department. So I went to Menifee County and I developed and we started a full-fledged police department for the Menifee County School District. And it took off. We've been a model for several throughout the state since we got it going. And I'm very, very blessed to have that opportunity. You know, if you're watching this, Josh Kincaid, I'm not going anywhere just yet, but Josh is an awesome guy to work for. He's superintendent over there now. I got to work with Tim Spencer, and they're great. Shortly, it wasn't too long after everything was established there, I had I don't know if it was an opportunity or not. Rebecca could probably, she was in that meeting. We've done a lot of things over there. We built a brand new soccer field, built new track, finishing up working on a brand new baseball and softball field turf. I mean, it's good. I mean, they worked it and they got it. So it opened my eyes up to see what if community comes together, what you can accomplish, and that's what it takes. So I've been blessed with the opportunities that I've had as employment, and I've always loved what I've done. When this, as everybody in here probably knows, probably when I said I would be running for judge executive, it was like a jaw dropper because everybody just assumed that I would be up here with these other guys behind us running for sheriff. But I had some people talk to me and pushed me, and so I decided that if you all think this is the path that I need to take, then that's what I'm going to do. So I threw my name in the hat. Things that I want to see happen. When I started this campaign, it was my very first thing I said was, folks, I'm not making promises. I've had a career that's been pretty upstanding, and I'm not going to start telling people stuff that if it's not here, if I don't know it's going to happen, I'm not going to say it's going to happen. I'm going to be up front. My kids will probably tell you, Dad's pretty hard on them, but sometimes no was tough, but sometimes no is the best answer. If I can't do something for you, I think you'd rather for me to say no is beat around the bush about it. So anything that I could ever do for anybody after I retired, I still do it. I still did it. If it's legal, ethical, moral, I'll bend over backwards to help anyone. But it's got to have, it's got to check those boxes. I've worked hard to be where I'm at, so I never want to go downhill. Road work. During this ice storm, I had a lot of people. It's like, Ellie, you need to jump on board this thing and be negative towards what's going on. It's like, absolutely not. Those guys were doing their best. We probably have, we need to have a plan in place that stuff like this happens. We can roll out Standard First, we can roll out Frederick and May, and we got a lot of good construction companies that can, and that's probably something that happened later on, or maybe it happened and I just didn't see it, but I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon of being negative towards anything, because when I've been out and talking to people, as I've talked to people here, I want to know the good and the bad. If something's going well, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. So, Wellness Center, of course, that was a hot topic forever. I think that everybody got blowed up on that for a couple of months on the book face, or the Facebook, as Grant Sorrell likes to call it. But the Wellness Center is a great thing. It needs to be maintained. I think everything is basically fixed now and it's running right. But that's a place for kids and for athletics and stuff. But Morgan County also needs things for kids that's not athletes, you know. I guess I'm fortunate that I've been involved with athletics with my kids since they were big enough to walk, but there's a lot of kids that's not in those things. And as I see it, look around this crowd, there's a bunch of us that would line up on Friday and Saturday night all the way down Main Street and want to go to the movies, and it was one of the best times of our lives. I would love to see that reopen somehow, some way, open it. She's fixing to jerk me off too, Lord. I mean, here it comes. Here it comes. So, but she's not going to do it before I say this. So, folks, our fire, our EMS workers, if you've never been standing on the side of the road, hoping to God somebody showed up to help you, you're lucky because they're volunteers. They need to be supported. They need to be supported year-round, not just election time. I know Eric said that they'd been dumping some money in it, but they shouldn't have to beg, steal, and borrow to have equipment. We got to work with them and make sure they're taken care of. EMS as well. It's not important until it's really important, and then it's too late. So we got to help them out. So, well, I guess I'm going to have to leave before Cheryl runs me off, but I want to thank everybody. Larry Lewis Mom and Dad's going to have me a cookout on April 25th. If anybody can come, be more than happy to have you. If you're for me on the fence or against me, still come down and have a sandwich. So thank you all very much.
Now I don't feel so bad that I've got 4 pages here. So I didn't know you was that long-winded, Kelly. Let me get this thing adjusted. Well, good evening. I'd like to say thank you to the Rotary Club for inviting me to this event. My name is James David Green, and I'm running for Morgan County Judge Executive as a Republican. I live with my wife, Barbara, in the Woods Bend community of Morgan County. I worked 35 years for the Kentucky Department of Corrections, the last 9 years as a warden at 3 different state prisons. I retired as the warden at EKCC in August of 2024 after serving there for 6 years. I have extensive experience with budgets, managing employees, managing major projects, and acquiring funds from state government in Frankfort amounting in the tens of millions of dollars. As warden at EKCC, I supplied inmate labor to work on community projects such as mowing city and county parks, helping set up for Sorghum Festival, putting up Christmas decorations for the city, cleaning up roadside litter, helping build, plumb, and electrify the bathroom facilities at the high school baseball and softball fields, helping with food pantries, and helping with projects at various churches around the county. So as you can see, I get things done for the people of Morgan County. Now let's get down to business, my platform. County roads. If elected, I would adopt a maintenance plan for all county roads, including regular inspections and maintenance to be completed with the help of your magistrate and the road foreman. I would be hands-on with all planning and execution. I would have an emergency plan in place for ice, snow, flooding events, etc. There would be no part, and this is important, no part of Morgan County left out of these plans. Economic development. I know that you, the voters, are tired of seeing your children and grandchildren have to move away or drive long distances to work a decent job. So, I would work with existing industry and business to expand or at least to become more profitable. I would work to attract new businesses and industry to Morgan County. I would create an economic development committee comprised of the top business minds in the area. I would work with the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development to offer competitive incentives, focusing on expanding existing businesses, attracting international direct investment, and supporting workforce development. I would also work with the Kentucky Economic Development Finance Authority to provide tax credits and financing for new and expanding industries. Infrastructure. I would assess all county buildings and properties for maintenance issues. I would develop a plan to address any current issues and also create a preventative maintenance program. I would develop a 3, 5, and 10-year plan and build it into the budget. I also would preserve the old high school and old courthouse buildings. I would do my best to fix and reopen the public swimming pool. I would pursue trying to bring a theater and an indoor shooting range to Morgan County. I would also work with all entities to enhance recreational and sports facilities for our youth. I would look at the possibility of a standalone building for our seniors and also a meeting place for our veterans. I would pursue acquiring money for county water line extensions. I know that's important to a lot of you folks in the audience. County trash problems. Let's be honest. Our roadsides are littered with garbage. If elected, I would work tirelessly to clean our county up and make our communities look presentable again. This is important for community pride and to make a good first impression on prospective new business and industry owners. In closing, I am committed to working with the magistrates and the county employees to make Morgan County a better place to live for our children, seniors, veterans, and all residents. I humbly ask for your vote and support on Election Day. Vote James David Green for Morgan County Judge Executive. Thank you.
Pretty good. Far cry from slinging pizzas now. So good evening, everybody, and I'll be brief. My name is Walker Crace, for those of you that don't know me, and I'm your Democratic nominee for the Morgan County Judge Executive. I'm honored to stand before you as the unopposed candidate in the primary, and I'm grateful to trust many of you have already placed in me. However, I ask that the Morgan County people do not judge me by the D next to my name on my ballot, because I'm not defined by a label. I'm a lifelong resident of this community just like you, and I'm a conservative Democrat who stands on Christian values, personal responsibility, and a deep commitment to serving others. I do not agree with every direction of national politics, and I believe that local leadership should always reflect the people it serves and not a distant agenda. Politics was never something that I set out to pursue, but helping people has always been a part of who I am, and I firmly believe that if you have the ability to create change and improve the lives of others, then you have a moral obligation to do so. My background reflects that commitment. I've served in the military. I've dedicated 9 years to law enforcement. I now operate what I believe to be a successful small business. Through each chapter of my life, my goal has remained the same, and that's to be someone that you can depend on in a time of need, no matter when it may be. I'm not running for title. I'm not running for recognition or financial gain. I'm running to build a stronger Morgan County for you, for me, for our children, and future generations. As a business owner, I have been blessed with the opportunity to connect with so many members of our community. I have seen firsthand how we come together in times of hardship, and I know the strength we possess when we stay united. I understand that some may question my age. While I'm in my early 30s, I bring with a lifetime of experience, like I previously stated, college athletics, military service, years in law enforcement, business ownership, and most importantly, being a father. History has shown us that leadership is not defined by age, but by vision, work ethic, and dedication. John F. Kennedy was your youngest elected president, and of the vision, youngest elected president of the United States, and his leadership produced change that we still see and benefit from this day. For those of you that are involved with the scripture, 1 Timothy 4:12 says, "Let no one despise your youth, but be an example to the believers in word, in conduct, in love, in spirit, in faith, in purity." Timothy was also a young leader who was questioned because of his age, yet he led with strength, faith, and purpose. I've always been an advocate of our youth, a supporter of our seniors, and a voice for everyone in between. If elected, I will work tirelessly to ensure our community has the resources, opportunities, and leadership it deserves. With all respect to my opposition, you will not find someone who will outwork me. I will be present, not just in meetings, but in moments that matter, whether it's responding to a water emergency, a winter storm, or any crisis our county faces. I will stand alongside the men and women who serve this community. Leadership requires accountability, transparency, and the ability to listen. I believe a strong leader must also know how to follow by listening to our magistrates, collaborating with local leaders, and staying connected to the people who entrusted them with that role. I will be that leader. I will work every day to move forward Morgan County. I will give everything I have to ensure that our community reaches its full potential. No matter what that may be of me, I will give it. At the end of the day, this is not about party lines or politics. It is about trust. It is about who do you believe will show up, follow through, and deliver for this county. That is the choice for you. Thank you, and may God bless you.
First, I want to double down on, well, good evening. But first, I want to double down on what Eric said earlier about our employees. You'll see this floating around. It's a list of accomplishments that could not have been done without the Morgan County employees, the road crew, and everybody else, as well as the physical court. That when I take this stuff in front of them, they approve it and make it happen. But getting into this, like I said, good evening, friends, neighbors of Morgan County. Thank you for coming here tonight. Whether we've known each other for years or we've just meeting, I'm grateful you came here tonight. My name is Jim Gazay. I'm a Republican candidate for Judge Executive, and I currently now serve as your Morgan County Judge Executive. When I took office in January 2023, we faced millions in unpaid debt, chaotic budgets, and struggling services. Today, we have a more efficient government that spends your tax dollars wisely and has reestablished credibility both at the state and federal level. Now that those seeds have been sown, we can start to see them bloom. My vision for Morgan County is clear. Deliver practical solutions that support stable jobs, control household costs like utilities, strengthen infrastructure, and help our families stay and build a future here. We must meet change with progress. We must balance it with deep respect for our unique culture and our heritage. How will we get this done? By leveraging federal, state, and local resources, building strong partnerships, pursuing grant funding, continuing the fiscal discipline from my first term. Here are the key priorities that will move us forward. First, affordable housing and child care. Too many young families are being priced out of homes. We will partner with the Kentucky Housing Corporation and develop affordable housing units across the county. It's been done in other counties. We can do it in Morgan. I will support and assist the creation of child care businesses and continue to push and advocate through Gateway Ad for the multi-generational center for our seniors and child care. Number two, utility affordability. I will advocate at the Kentucky Public Service Commission for the necessary grid investments and cost-effective rates. We will push for the expansion of utility energy initiatives so our families can breathe easier on their monthly bills. Number three, agriculture. Farming is in our blood. We will support regenerative practices through incentives and training. We will support and assist the expansion of farmers markets and processing facilities so our farmers can grow and sell locally grown food. Healthier for our families, and not only selling it to the locals, but also to local and regional institutions, keeping the dollars circulating here in Morgan County. Number four, job opportunities and economic development. We need good jobs that let our kids stay home. I've already requested $1.5 million in state funding for industrial growth. In the coming weeks, we will have a message on that coming from Mr. White and Mr. Smith back there. We will continue to advance road, bridge, and water and sewer projects. Promote our amazing fiber optic network from MRTC. We'll invest in trails, signage, and events with Smart Discover Morgan marketing campaign to bring more visitors to local businesses. As a member of the Area Technology Steering Committee, I will support and assist, as I've done in the past, securing funding for modern labs in welding, IT, sustainable agriculture, as well as other trades. Throughout all of this, I will provide experienced, responsible leadership with balanced budgets, transparent reports, zero-based budgeting, and no broad tax increases. Friends, these aren't just ideals on paper. These are actionable, grounded plans that we can progress and make progress here, and with progress that we've already made in the last 3 years. I believe in transparency, integrity, and equal treatment of every family. Morgan County has a bright future. With our hardworking people, strong farms, deep faith, rich heritage, we are building a place where our children and grandchildren can thrive close to home. On May 19th, 2026, I humbly ask for your vote so we can keep this positive momentum going and make Morgan County even stronger together. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Morgan County.
All right. I want to thank these gentlemen as well for their wonderful comments. And I believe in accountability, so here I'm going to stand saying I have made a mistake and didn't even realize it until we had a person show up tonight and say, "Hey, can I speak?" And I'm like, "You sure can. How did that not get on our agenda?" But I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Ned Pillersdorf, who's running for the 5th Congressional District. And while he's coming, I would like to give our question. Actually, we have 2 questions, if you all will allow, for our judge executive candidates. So they'll have 2 minutes to speak, but they have to answer 2 questions. All right, gentlemen, you ready for your questions? Both of them seem very worthy questions, and I heard a couple of our candidates speak about it already, but the first question is, what would be your solution for people without clean, safe drinking water in Morgan County? What would be your solution for people who don't have clean, safe drinking water in Morgan County? Second question. If elected judge executive in 4 years, what do you hope you can say was your greatest accomplishment? If elected judge executive in 4 years, what do you hope to say would be your greatest accomplishment? Clean drinking water and your greatest accomplishment. That's what you can think about while we welcome Mr. Ned Pillersdorf to the stage.
Now? Okay. 11 years ago, about 4,000 of my neighbors who were former clients of Ericon got notices they were going to pull their Social Security benefits. And for 11 years, we organized the largest legal volunteer effort to protect my neighbors. And what bothered me most about it was Social Security is a wonderful program. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was, in my view, maybe our greatest president because he cared about the safety net. He wanted to do something about poverty. And what bothered me most is when they went after my neighbors, they were pulling the safety net for some of the poorest people in our nation. The good news, after 11 years, we basically won the battle. We declared what they were doing unconstitutional, but it impacted me. Let me give you a weather report. You know, before a big hurricane hits, you'll see on TV swirling in on the ocean, it's coming ashore. Folks, it's coming ashore for us. I've heard your local leaders here talking about they want this program, they want that program. Folks, that's not going to happen. I am running for Congress because of what happened last year when Hal Rogers voted for the big, ugly bill. That bill is devastating. We had a governor named Steve Beshear, and he introduced Kentucky Connect. That dramatically reduced the uninsured rate to about 5%. Rural hospitals were allowed to exist in Appalachia, despite the fact that we are, by the way, you know, we are the poorest congressional district in the nation. Did you know that? 9 of the 10 poorest counties are in the 5th congressional district. We have a governor named Andy Beshear. You may have seen him on TV. And what Andy Beshear said about the big, ugly bill, the bill that has motivated me to run, he called it the most destructive bill he has ever seen. It is a bullseye on rural America. According to Governor Andy Beshear, 200,000 Kentuckians are going to lose their health coverage. The Medicaid, Hal Rogers voted to cut $880 billion from the Medicaid program. What does that mean in English? Kentucky is expected to lose 36 rural hospitals. 36 rural hospitals will close. We've heard a lot of talk about drugs tonight. Part of my law practice is I do criminal defense. The biggest change in criminal defense in the last 20 years, first of all, half of my criminal defense clients are women. They've got kids. How can I get them out of jail? I send them to rehabs. 20 years ago, I could not send them to rehabs. But thanks to the work of Governor Steve Beshear and Andy Beshear, Medicaid pays for rehabs. Folks, that's not going to happen. The big ugly bill is scheduled to take effect January of next year. That's when and according to Governor Beshear, 200,000 Kentuckians will lose their health coverage. People in nursing homes. Hal Rogers voted for that bill, despite the fact that we're the poorest congressional district in the nation. And why did he say he voted for it? He claimed, well, it gave historic tax relief to working families. Listen to this. 99% of the tax cuts went to the richest 1% in the country. If your idea what this country needs is more tax cuts for the ultra-rich and to slash our safety net, you probably ought to vote for Hal Rogers because he has betrayed us. Once again, I am running because unlike what's in that big ugly bill, my first order of business, if I get to Washington, would be to undo the big ugly bill. I want to expand Medicaid. I want to expand Medicare. Currently, what's happening is they're clawing back money Congress already appropriated. Letcher County is one of the poorest counties in our district. They had a horrific flood, and 25 school buses got destroyed. Congress approved $3 million to replace the school buses. What happened with the big ugly bill? They clawed it back. You think Letcher County is rolling in money? It's one of the poorest counties in the nation. There's other monies being poured back. They're cutting back the Meals on Wheels. They're cutting back the Head Start. They're cutting back education. If your idea is that what the Congress ought to be doing is shifting all the wealth from the less fortunate to the most affluent, you ought to vote for Hal Rogers. But I'm voting against, I am running because I actually care about the less fortunate. And I've been all over this 33 counties, and I always open up for questions. And 90% of the questions are not about immigration, not about Gaza. It's about, is the Middlesboro Hospital going to close? Governor Beshear says 35 hospitals are going to close. If you're for that, vote for Hal Rogers. My friends, I live about 2 hours away. And if you're not doing anything on Derby Day and you don't have a seat on Millionaires Row, you're welcome to come to my house. I live adjacent to the spillway below Dewey Dam, Kentucky. I'm going to have a special guest I greatly admire. You may have heard of him, Governor Paul Patton. You're all welcome to join me. I'm not on the ballot in May. I think Hal Rogers is. I think he's got 3 or 4 Republican opponents. I will be on the ballots in November. And I promise you, if I get to Washington, I will undo this cruel war the Republicans are waging against the less fortunate. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mikey, have you let them draw numbers? We are going to answer questions. We definitely are, and we're going to keep with the tradition of what we've been doing tonight and going in reverse order, which means Jim would speak first, and then Walker, and then James David Green, and then Kelly. Yes, I will read the questions again. Let me get them. I think I left them laying here. Yes. What would be your solution for the people in Morgan County who don't have safe, clean drinking water? And what do you hope your greatest accomplishment will be at the end of 4 years if you're elected judge executive?
Got it. All right, first one, water. We have to continue going after the grant money for water. We've done that in the past. We got like $3 million from going right now. The state legislator over there, Mr. White, has already given us $500,000 for this year and $500,000 for next year through the legislature to pay off the debt up there. But some things that I would like to see, just not beside water lines, there's some places that we cannot get lines up those hollers because of the geotechnical, the ground that's there. What I would like to see, and what I've talked to the water district about, the GM up there, is getting stations and setting them out there where they can come and pump water, has a meter on it, and they can get their water from there. That's another way we can get water to people. I mean, we're going to have to figure it, we're going to have to think out of the box how to get that water at some of these hollers. As well as you know, at some of these roads right now, we got water on. They're in the ditch lines, which makes it difficult to clean the ditch lines, and they're not buried at the depth because they can't reach the code depth. So we got to come around with that. I've talked to Rick about some things the last week, and we're looking at it, but we got to think out of the box. What I would like to see, when I'm done, I would like to, in this next 4 years, I want to see a company sitting here that's employing our people and bringing them back to Morgan County. That's always been my big priority. Claire, on that clinic, we're working on some other stuff that's going to be coming down the pipeline here pretty soon, and we'll talk to you about that. But that's my big thing. I want to see our young people employed here, and so that when they grow up and they got jobs, and they can go ahead and stay right home with their family where they should be.
Well, it's a good thing I already answered that question to Rick once, so I'm going to probably piggyback off of it. Shoot for. I broke it. Can't have nothing nice. Ferdinand Bull. So as far as the water goes, your water board, their budget's within so much. So as far as just putting water lines down every day, it's going to be very difficult. But like I've reiterated before, the squeaky wheel gets greased first. You got to go to Frankfurt continuously. Be that aggravating itch that they have to satisfy. Go get those grants. Get that money. Take as much money as you possibly can and start an order. And take all that money and go from whichever the road that's got the most amount of houses that doesn't have water and start working your way up to the least. You just got to stay consistent, be persistent, And if it ain't the judge that's up there, somebody that needs to be a representative of Morgan County needs to continuously be in there beating that door down. And I'll say it again, the squeaky wheel's gonna get greased, because you're gonna get tired of hearing about it. As far as longevity, our kids, I don't think we have a lot for our youth anymore. And I understand that we got to bring in bigger infrastructure to maintain those children here so they don't leave, because all those parents don't have to move out to get bigger jobs. I understand that. But I also know that right now, we don't have a lot for our kids. And like a few people said, an idle mind's the devil's playground. Kids don't have nothing to do. Eventually, they're going to find something to get into, and that's where whoever the next sheriff is comes into play. We don't want that. We want to provide opportunities. We want to do different kinds of camps and things that are going to have volunteers involved to bring more kids together, bring those theaters back, bring other playgrounds back, add to the playgrounds that assist people with, disabilities that may not be able to enjoy playgrounds like they once could or could have ever. Doing the little things that takes care of our youth, that brings them together, that keeps them involved. That's going to be my biggest thing. And I think at the end of the day, it goes for everybody. A theater, I don't know anybody that wouldn't want that bad boy back. So it's the little things that come together, guys. Thank you.
Well, they didn't say it, so I'm going to. The best way to get water here in Morgan County is vote for me. Vote for James David Green for County Judge Executive. And I noticed Mr. White was getting a little fidgety over there because everybody says they're going to be knocking his door down trying to get money from him. So, and I may end up being one of those. We never know. But I think we need to, as far as the water goes, the folks in the county that doesn't have water, and our current judge, Mr. Gazay, touched on some of the problems with that. But it all boils down to we're going to have to get more money to work with to overcome these problems. Hal Rogers, which a while ago just got run through the mud, which in my opinion is one of the best guys that for Eastern Kentucky. He's been a warrior for Eastern Kentucky for many, many years. We need to go to him and say, Hal, we need some more money. And you're sitting on the Appropriations Committee up in Washington, D.C., and we know you can bring it to us. It's time for Morgan County to get their fair share. And that's what we're going to have to do. As far as the accomplishment, my goal and my biggest thing about running, and there's a bunch of issues, is we need jobs in this county. And we need somebody that's got some inside ties with some companies to get them to come here and look at what we can offer here, whether it be tax incentives, it be an industrial park, it be whatever. That's what it's going to take. And where are you at, Tommy Fannin? Is it all right if I tell them your idea? Sir, we need a job that connects I-64 and the Mountain Parkway that runs through Morgan County. That's what we need for economic development. It will help the counties it comes through, not only Morgan County. It's going to go through Round County and help the county down there that you live in, sir. And it's going to help Wolfe County or whatever comes off the Mountain Parkway. But we need to start, if I'm elected, we will start working on that. We need that road. And that is not my idea, but I'm smart enough to listen to Tommy Fannin when he talks, and he proposed that idea. That's his idea. So thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it. And that's the way, that would be my big accomplishment, would be to bring all the jobs that we possibly could. I'd like to bring the most economic development to Morgan County in recent history after my 4 years in office. Thank you.
Well, I've already knocked on his door and been there and already started the process of trying to get stuff, but there's only so many ways you can answer the water problem. We got to get funding. You got to work with the water district, get funding, get grants, and hopefully every person in the county can eventually have good, clean water as everybody deserves. As far as an accomplishment, I hope, if I'm elected in 4 years, I can lay my head down at night with a clear conscience, and all the magistrates can as well, knowing that for the last 4 years we've did everything we possibly can to make Morgan County better and get things moving and just have a better county for everyone. So that's my goal. So thank you.
Yes, I want to thank you all. You're done. We ain't going to hold you in the hot seats anymore. But we do appreciate your time to answer 2 questions, not just one. That was what were submitted by the audience, and I know they appreciate you all taking the time to do it. They all get extra points for answering 2 questions, absolutely. So next, we're going to welcome to the stage the Kentucky House of Representatives for District 99 candidates, where we actually Drew and Iva Daly, who is our Democratic candidate, will speak first, and Richard White, who is our Republican candidate, will speak second. So you all just come right on up to the stage. They've been patient and hung out with us all evening, and we appreciate that.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming out tonight and spending a Thursday evening listening to all us candidates talk. My name's Eva Markicevic Daly, and I'm here tonight because I'm running to represent Morgan, Elliott, and Rowan counties in the Kentucky State House. The first thing and the most important thing you need to know about me is I'm a mom. And that's the identity that shapes every aspect of my life and the decisions I make. But motherhood in this state, when you don't have a lot of money and you don't have a lot of backup, is hard in ways that people don't always talk about. When I first got pregnant, I was in between jobs and uninsured. Then, when I was 8 months pregnant, on a Tuesday night, I started experiencing severe abdominal pain. Now, I had made the trip from Sandy Hook, where I live, to St. Clair multiple times before for prenatal care. But it wasn't until that night when I was sitting in the passenger seat, worried about my daughter's well-being, that I realized how long that drive is on our roads. After I gave birth, I was fortunate that I was working for an employer that provided paid leave. But after that was up, it was right back to my remote job, now with a newborn right by my side, not because I wanted to balance what was essentially 2 full-time jobs, but because my family couldn't afford childcare, and we couldn't and still can't afford to live on a single paycheck. Now, when I started talking, I said mom is my most important identity, but it's not my only one. I'm also the wife of a Marine combat veteran. Watching my husband come home and navigate getting the care that he earned, that's an experience that sticks with you. The system we have is complex, it's slow, and it asks a lot from people who've already given a lot for us and for our country. The third identity I want to speak to is, for the last 5 years, I've been working as a healthcare access advocate. And in this work, I've come to learn that my experience is pretty tame compared to what so many other families face. The list of identities I've given you, those are a starting point. But what else I've been doing in living my different experiences is trying to keep up with what's going on in Frankfort. And from before I ever decided to run to now, where we're winding down another legislative session, one thing I've seen is that little to nothing is being done to make life better for everyday working families, families that look like mine. Just take this legislative session, for example. We live in a community where if you live in Elliott or Morgan County, you're traveling to Moorhead or farther to access prenatal, pediatric, specialty care. We're living in an affordability crisis, yet none of the bills that aim to move our minimum wage, that's at $7.25 an hour, to move that up, none of them moved forward. And our state retirees, they haven't gotten a cost of living adjustment since 2011. we're seeing people not knowing how they're going to make rent, let alone how they're ever going to afford that first home to raise their families in. While all of these problems remain true, we saw Frankfort make access to Medicaid harder. Public schools continue to be underfunded, but in all of this, they managed to give themselves a raise and to allot $301 million to capital renovations, while only $5 million went to affordable housing for everyday Kentuckians. I'm going to move from this list of reasons now, though. The reasons that propelled me, an introvert, into getting off of the sidelines and doing this very hard, very public thing. Because I know you all aren't here tonight to listen to a bunch of reasons. You want to know what your elected officials will do to make your lives better. So this, with your vote in November, is what I will fight for. First, healthy communities. Communities where we have access to medical, dental, vision care, access to clean air and water, safe roads, and reliable broadband and cell phone service. Next, safe communities, the ones where we have stability because we're offered a living wage. We feel secure in our jobs. We know we can make our mortgage or rent payment, and we also know we can pay our utility bills. And we don't have to choose between groceries and prescription medication. And third, thriving communities. Communities where we have the opportunity to send our children to quality public schools, pursue college or technical school education, grow in our careers, and start and sustain the small businesses that make our communities what they are. When I was a child, my parents always told me, you don't get to complain about your circumstances if you're never doing anything to try and change them. So this, tonight, is not me standing here and complaining about what's going on. This is me standing up and fighting for a Kentucky that works for all of us. Thank you again for coming out tonight. My name's Eva Markichevich Daly, and this November, I'm asking for your vote for Kentucky State House.
Maybe they don't want to hear me, huh?
Try it now.
How about now? There we go. Before I start, I'd like to address one of the questions that was presented to the judges about the water. Last year, we had the General Assembly. We advocated for, we have a $20 million water plant that was put in operation in Round County, and it's a regional water plant, and it's in the works now to be able to put more water over into Morgan County. And I didn't know if a lot of y'all was aware of that, but I just wanted to bring that up since that water question came up. But I'm State Representative Richard White. I represent the 99th District here. I represent Morgan, Elliott, and Round County. I'm finishing up my 7th session here in the General Assembly. And I'm a humble, compassionate public servant. I devote it to preserving our values that we all cherish. Being a small business owner and a leader in the forest industry for over 50 years, I know what it is to work out here in the woods and the timbers. I've worked closely with Morgan County, with the leaders, the community leaders, and a lot of the farmers, the timber operators that we have here in this area. I have a clear understanding of economic and workforce challenges that we face in rural Kentucky. I want to go over some of my accomplishments this year that I've accomplished here in the General Assembly. Judge Gazay in the Physical Court, they submitted to me your road projects that we needed in the county roads, and I want to say I'm one of the top 2 state representatives that got most funding in the state. We got all the roads approved that the judge and physical court submitted to me in those 2 years. Also, as the judge said earlier, he requested $1.5 million for infrastructure here in the county. We got that approved. You know, we had a tight budget, but there was a lot of things that I was able to bring home, and that was one of them. My values is, you know, one of the biggest lies that the devil's told generations here in the state of Kentucky and in the nation, that abortion was health care. Abortion is nothing but murder to my eyes. God said he knew every hair that was on your head before you was born. He knew what hair, the number of hairs. And I'm a 100% pro-life. I'm 100% Second Amendment. I'm a Christian, and I'm pro-business. I limit government overreach. I want to fight that with less regulations and less red tape. I'm a passionate defender of our brave law enforcement, and I back the blue. And I thank to all of the police officers, the EMS, and the firefighters that work hard here on our roads protecting us. My vote in the General Assembly represents your voice, your common sense, and your values. I vote to stop using tax dollars for child mutilations. I voted to ban and defend DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion in our schools. I voted to end critical race theory in our public schools. I voted to restore the 10 Commandments in the Capitol grounds. They were taken off 35 years removed from the Capitol. Just this past December, we got the 10 Commandment monument installed on our Capitol grounds. And this coming Tuesday, we're having a ceremony in the House chambers presenting they're one of the original 10 Commandments that was taken out of the Capitol 35 years ago, be brought back into the Capitol and hung on the wall. Yep. Thank you. I voted to protect women's sports. I voted to phase out Kentucky state income tax in a gradual manner. I voted to classify churches as essential. We can never be forced to close. Let's not forget when Governor Beshear intermittently, he took the license plates of the worshipers gathering on Easter Sunday in 2021, license plate numbers. We prevented that from ever happening again. I voted to cut regulations and red tape to allow local farmers to be able to sell their products to schools and our prisons. Some of the bills that we passed in the General Assembly this year, a lot of them was focused on health care in our state and infrastructure. We passed a health care bill to make prior authorizations easier for medical services and procedures that's being done. Less regulations on food donation to the homeless shelters. We passed a law for grooming related to minors. We passed bills to remove persons unlawfully occupying private real property. Is my time getting close? Okay. We passed bills for age verification on addictive online platforms, but I humbly ask for y'all's support to help me preserve the values and Christian values and the needs that we have here in this district, and I thank you and I appreciate y'all's vote.
All right, before you run off, we do have one question that was submitted. Let me find the question, which I think you already spoke to, but it says, are you for or against abortions?
Well, I said that I was 100% for it.
Right.
You know, pro-life. I'm a pro-life advocate and always have been.
Yeah.
Oh, Yeah, as I said, I'm 100% pro-life and stand up for the unborn. I had a bill filed to protect the rights of unborns, give them the same rights as we do in adults. And I firmly stand for that, and I'll fight for that as long as I'm in office.
As a mom, I know how hard pregnancy is on the body. I know how often it can go wrong, and I know what the price is when people who have never practiced medicine make laws on bodies that are not theirs and that will never be theirs. I support medicine, I support doctors, and I support the government not getting involved in our most personal decisions.
I want to thank both of the candidates for their discussions and for hanging out with us this evening and answering our questions. We absolutely appreciate that. Our next group up, and actually I guess our last group of the night, will be our House Senate District 30 representatives, Brandon White and Bill Wesley. Oh, I'm so sorry, Brandon. I'm so sorry. It has been such a long night. It's been a long night. And Mr. Wesley is not here. He did send a document to be read, so I've asked Mikey to read that document on behalf of, I guess, on behalf of our candidate. So I don't know which one of you drew numbers. Did you draw? Okay. You want to hold this or you want to? Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mikey Wissman. Obviously, I am not Bill Wesley. So, but I will speak on behalf of Mr. Bill Wesley. Mr. Bill Wesley, I've got to know him as he has attended multiple church services down there at Lick Fork Pentecostal Church. I'm sure a lot of you all know where that's at. Bill has, you might have seen his face a time or two. His face has been on the news, not for nothing bad, but for good and positive things. He was the representative that caught a transgender male with a white dress on trying to go into a little girl's bathroom. And so he was the representative that took the time and stopped that individual, and that individual did get arrested. And so praise the Lord for that. But he is on his card, as he asked me to read, this is what it says, and this is what he stands on. I am a Christian, first and foremost. He is a conservative, he is a Republican, and it is in that order. He is a U.S. Marine veteran. He is 100% pro-life, and he's been a pastor for over 20 years. He is a defender of the Second Amendment. He is a defender of the women's privacy in bathrooms and government buildings. He has fought against foreign entities, including China, from purchasing land in Kentucky. And on his watch, there has been a record funding in District 91, which is where he was before. He says he will continue to fight for clean water and dread the rivers to help the flooding in the rivers. He has passed more legislation during his tenure in the District of 91 in the previous 20 years than in the previous 20 years. He is covering the Breathitt, Estill, Lee, Leslie, Magoffin, Morgan, Perry, Powell, and Wolfe counties, which is obviously what the Senate 30 is doing. But he was a representative in 91, and God, as he has spoke with me, God has led him to run for Senate on 30. Some of the things that he has already done for Morgan County, I'm sure that you all have already seen that there is a safe haven box. A safe haven box, as he already noted, that he is 100% pro-life. But there's a safe haven box that is going somewhere in the county He has worked very hard with Mr. Jim Gazay on trying to figure out where that box will be. I know attending one of the physical court meetings, that was also voted on, and it was talked about on somewhere in the county that can be put. And so he has brought the Safe Haven box here to Morgan County. If you're not aware what a Safe Haven box is, a Safe Haven box is a box that if a young child or a young female that does not want to get an abortion but cannot take care of the child, instead of disposing of the child or getting rid of the child, she can go to that box, put the baby safely in the box, and it will be monitored, and the 911 dispatch will be notified immediately for someone to be able to come check on the child. And so he is asking for your vote here on the as the Senate, state Senate, but not only is he a friend, but he's also a brother in Christ. As I've already spoken, he's been to multiple church services with us over at Lick Fork. He worships with us, and he's a true friend of Morgan County. So, thank you.
Yeah, we're going to recognize Brandon Smith to the podium, and I don't know if you want to hold this or if you want to.
So I'll kind of see here. Folks, it's late in the evening, so I'm going to be, they say the three Bs, be brief, be informed, and be seated. But I think it's important for us to get a chance to say hello. It's getting time to the election, and this is really important for us. But I want to stop and use a little bit of my time to have every candidate in here, everybody that's running, please stand up. You've already taken the bravest step. It's nerve-wracking, scary to have to get up here and be judged by your community, but I want to personally thank you because only 1% of the people ever run get elected. So on behalf of the state of Kentucky, as the second most senior member there, I want to thank each and every one of you for putting your name out there. I don't know how this will turn out, but I know one thing, history will record what you've done here today. With that said, let's please give everybody applause. Thank you all. Just briefly about myself, I'm Senator Brandon Smith. I currently cover this district. I got elected in 1993 as a commissioner. When I got elected at that time, I had just been president of the Lions Club. I'm a master mason. I've been through both the Scottish and the York Rite, and I'm in the Shrine, and I'm part of the Hillbilly, so if there's any Hillbilly clan out here, we're part of that. I'm past president of the Lions Club. I'm past district commissioner of the Boy Scouts of America, so if you've got a kid in scouting, we've been raising the money. And I'm more proud of being den leader of Troop 90. So we got to go for more Eagle Scouts coming out of our group than any group out there. Coach girls basketball and boys football. And actually with my girls, they follow instructions a lot better, as you all know. Folks, I served there as a commissioner, and what's remarkable about that is I put in the strongest anti-littering laws that Kentucky had in the city of Hazard. Because I found out people want you to pick your trash up. Only 3 people out of 10 litter, and the rest of us wind up picking it up. People think our state's dirty for a reason. We weren't having it, and we put it in. It was so strong when I left to go to the state, they repealed it. I couldn't get my officers to go and turn the tickets in because then, if you find the wrong family, you had people in family that were better than us. If you find the wrong family, I'd never get elected again. Well, I'm still here, and those families got fined, including one of our clerks. But we cleaned up that town. We went after straight pipes and made sure that our rivers are clean. We have some of the cleanest samples we've had right now because I went up every single one of those storm systems, every one of the manholes, and counted them. Hazard has 12 more pumping stations than Lexington, Kentucky does, to give you the idea of the scope of that. So I left the city and I went to the state, served in the state house for a decade as a minority member. So then I had to come over there where we didn't have the majorities we have now. And I actually passed 4 national platform bills, which are bills that you pass that Congress adopts. A couple of them are eye care. For people that have small businesses and they have uncles and aunts that work with them that have diabetes or high cholesterol, blood pressure, they couldn't get insurance at the time. So we stepped in to help small businesses and farms with eye care, with help from Tommy Turner, to pass a bill to make sure those people were picked up. The young lady was up here earlier talking about housing. I can say this without challenge. I don't think there's ever been another senator that had spent as much time with housing as I have. I created the Affordable Housing Trust. We put more houses out there and spent more money in housing than it's ever been in the state out there, and have been a part of building the majority of the ones all across our district out there. So you're welcome to come join me anytime you'd like to swing a hammer because we are on point. We're getting housing, especially after the flood. We went after trying to do an endowment program because we saw Louisville and Lexington, these places taking off from us. So we created that coming out of the Poverty Task Force to make a real difference. But one of the neatest things I did, and this is something for those of you of faith, we had a bill for a family that had a family member that had been injured. Now, what the state would do is, a little boy actually had his parents killed in front of him, and he stopped talking. So they wanted to send him from Letcher County all the way to Louisville to get psychotherapy at a crazy cost twice a week, and he still wasn't talking. We had a local minister that came forward and said, Brandon, if I can just talk to him and see if I can get him on my basketball team, I think I can talk to him. But he said, I'm not ordained. I'm not one of these psychotherapists. I'm just, a minister. So you know what we did? What do you think happened? That little boy started talking, playing basketball. He graduated in college 2 years ago. That bill's called self-determination. I worked that bill all the way through the House. We got it through. We got it over to the Senate, and it died. I could not get anybody for it. I talked to every chairman. I talked to the president, on and on and on. It was the last day, and there's a lady by the name of Glenna Taylor. This is her son, David. Well, actually, it was her family was through her son, David. And so she came to me, and I'll never forget this. I told her, I said, Glenna, we're beat. There's only so many 4 hours left of the General Assembly. It's almost midnight. I've talked to everybody. She said, well, you haven't talked to everybody. She said, I've got somebody. She said, you let us go. We're going to talk to somebody, and we'll get this done. And I walked away from her thinking, that poor girl, she's going to go, and the Senate president's just going to hammer her. I am not kidding you. Becky Harrelson called me in there and said, they're hearing your bill on the floor. I ran from the House floor all the way over to see this bill get passed. And I asked her later, what happened? She said, Brandon, every time I went to the copy machine, that bill was on that. She said, it happened so many times. I brought the Senate president here. She said, I don't know about this, but I didn't put this in the copier. It's probably a sign. So I will tell you, I got Glenna, and I said, who did you talk to? She said, we went outside and had prayer outside on the state capitol, and that is what we did, and that is a true story, and you can watch it, and that is the power of what happens in this building. So as I go to the Senate, we have a lot of work to do. I come over there now, I'm in the majority, I'm in leadership. We're getting a chance to work and do some good things for our state and our cities and counties. We're putting funding in, we're working on housing. Education's got the highest funding they've ever had. You can't look at that 2% in SEEK increase. You go through and look at our Medicaid costs that were talked earlier, $7 billion for that. And putting money in for us to be able to shore up not only just education and early ed, but we got to take care of our teachers too. Look at what we put in there for the pensions. But we did Senate Bill 5, and I want you to remember this. Senate Bill 5 was the first bill we had to stop 20-week bans on abortions before Roe v. Wade. That was my bill. I didn't co-sponsor it. I know a lot of people, anybody can co-sponsor a bill. All of you in here can have your own bill, and I can co-sponsor it, and then people will say, oh, I wrote, they didn't. They're just a co-sponsor. I wrote that bill and protected these children in Kentucky on my own until Roe v. Wade was overturned, and we saved those families with Senate Bill 5. It's one thing to talk about gun rights and stuff like that, but if you go in there and look at my bill, I'm the one that did the concealed and carry so that you could be able to stand in the grocery store and be armed and not have to scare anybody to death and hope you never use it, but you could do that because Senator Smith put that bill in there for you. And so we've marched forward until now. We've got a budget coming here, and we'll have a breakdown for you that you can see. But I've had a history of serving you. I have a history of faith of standing up. I'm Presbyterian, and my family brought the Presbyterian Church in over at Buckhorn. If you ever go see the Log Cathedral, that's one that my family built. They donated that property to the state of Kentucky for the children's home. Now, I heard somebody stand up earlier and telling you about how the governor this or that. The governor would rather have children stay in a house where they're abused and burnt by cigarettes than have them have a bed at the children's home because he's about to close the oldest institution we have for children in the country because he will not fund those beds. And they will stand up there and tell you, we've had $850 million of savings. No, you haven't. You've not paid your bills. And talking about the hospitals earlier that was mentioned, the hospitals thanked Hal Rogers. I mean, this isn't my battle, but the truth has to come out. This stuff is scaring you to death, and the governor's going to do this or that. This governor has vetoed everything we put out there in front of him. Senate Bill 8 that I just wrote that stands there now is the greatest chance you have to be able to get these power rates under control. That's why they fought it so hard. That's why I was on NPR yesterday. I have worked for years as chairman of Natural Resources to be able to get a bill in that could help us fight back against these runaway utility rates. And listen, when you fight these utilities, they come at you in full force. But just like it was when I was a commissioner and I fined people for littering, I've stood on your behalf because you don't want to have to go down there and put up with that. But I have 6 children, and I love them all, and I got cakes for a lot of them this evening. And if you see me out somewhere, be sure to grab a hold of us. If your church has an event, call us because we don't come uninvited. I don't show up, and I don't like people that do that. I keep my faith to myself because I've been there in Frankfurt long enough to see people that talk about it a lot, and we find out they're not who they say they are. You all be the judge of that, but I think you know. You've got a long history with me, and you can look at the bills. But do this. Look at who sponsored the bill, not who co-sponsored it. Because I can go in there and I can co-sponsor every bill in there, and then I can stand here and tell you, I've done this or that, but I couldn't tell you a single thing about the bill. I will encourage you to let my record stand. The thousands and thousands and thousands of days I've gone in, the thousands and thousands and thousands of votes I've cast. I'm the second most senior member in the Senate. There's only one other person there that has a record close to mine. That's Senate President Robert Stivers. And if you want to go to the House and see who your top bill passer over there is, that's going to be David Osborne, the Senate President, and probably followed by David Meade. And so I think it's incredible, important that when we're here, we have this time together, that we say the truth, that we understand this moment's so important for us. But this is a big election. It's going to be election's going to change a lot of stuff for us. But I enjoy serving you. I've dedicated my life. I've been in office longer in service to you than I have. So you have a senior seat at that table. So I say, let's not waste it. Look at your road plan. Look at the projects you heard of people talking about getting industry and moving forward. The sad thing about it is those things aren't sexy. I can spend millions and millions of dollars, and that's water and sewer projects under your feet. It's not parks, it's not stuff you see, but you have to have them. They're the basics. It's like faith. You can't build it on sand. You have to have bedrock, and those are the things we put into place with a good plan for stuff that you guys are getting ready to see. I was hoping it was going to be announced here this evening, but it's not my call to make, but you've got some good stuff coming, and you've deserved it. But I've enjoyed every minute I've served you, all the calls and the stuff that we've had, the events that we've been invited to. We encourage you to invite my family. There's a lot of us to more, especially if you're eating. But please go out and vote for somebody that has your interest and has a long-term credibility for you, that you can check every vote I've cast. You can look and see what I have sponsored, not co-sponsored, and you can make your mind up for us. But when the issues that were important to you, whether it's been abortion or guns or having your private rights protected or making sure our basic education were covered, we have been there on every single one of them. God bless each of you. And thank you for staying so late tonight. I knew a lot of people were ready to get out of here, but the good Lord put you here for a reason, and I asked him to bless me before I got up here, and I think he has. But bless each and every one of you, and if I'm around, please say hello to me and my family. Thank you.
We did not have any questions for this group, so I would like to wish you all safe travels home. Thank you for your interest this evening. Continue to reach out to each and every candidate with any questions you may have.